Leche. Leche. Leche.
Introducing PubCoin. PubCoin is the rewards program for pub sports contributors. Regular chat contributors share their play of the day, POD, in the YouTube chat, including the phrase POD in their message. At the end of the week, the amount of units earned are converted into PubCoins. PubCoin can be used as reward points for prizes, shop discounts, and contests.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mills here, Pub Sports Radio. Do you guys want to challenge the personalities here at Pub Sports Radio? Do you guys think you're better than them at entering in your MMA predictions and picks? Would you want to get paid for it? $100? Here's how you do it, man. You sign up right here at the link below. It's just this easy. PubSportsRadio.com. Enter your email. Pick your weekly picks. That's it. Oh, and you get bonus points if you can predict how they're going to win in what round. Every single week, a new winner's getting crowned. So every Saturday on Pub Sports Radio. So come on and check us out. You can win $100 just for signing up. Only thing you need to do is see if you can beat us here at Pub Sports Radio by entering your UFC predictions and picks weekly. Do it. I dare you. See you guys soon.
Your membership to Gold, you will be automatically entered in every horse race, every Wednesday and Friday. It is time to race horses. We are racing camels today.
Shout out to the Gold members. We're racing in San Antonio immediately here. And we're off. 2 minutes, 74 canals on this racetrack. It's wide. We're racing in San Antonio.
Matt Wally moving forwardly. Jeff Slaughter in the mix as well. And as is Randall Sheffield, who's put that beautiful nose out front.
But it's actually real grass here, Jimmy. Maybe Kentucky bluegrass. Oldie, no! There he goes. Oldie in the lead now. K. Wolf falls back. The horses love it. Sometimes they stop and eat it on the way to the finish line. That's why your horses start so far in the back. Oh, look at Nussquash Allen bursting out here. J-Dub in the mix. Rude Boy up here as well. Jimmy, take it away.
There's Oldie. Oldie is moving to the front. We are past the halfway mark in our 2 mile. And there's Ricky Levy.
Oh my goodness, he's in the mix here. Jimmy, take it home. This is our first dog race ever.
19 seconds left in the horse race here. It's Fernando Mendoza trying to find the wire. 14 seconds left. Can Fernando Mendoza take this home? Here comes Kenny Ken. Kenny Ken wants a piece of the pie. Put his schnoz up front. Ricky Bobby, 9 seconds left. Can Donut Silks make a run? Can Red Small make a run to be $50?
Bouquett, you son of a bitch!
Here comes Tori Coker. Kenny Ken, Smoke and Mirrors, Director 97. Home. That is way up Jason Meyer, the other auto custodian. Billy Friedrich. Joe's one all coming down to the finish.
Coin! Nowhere!
Oh no! Fanatical Jim!
Get 'em, Jimmy. Where low shack at? The bottle's getting empty, I'm not cracking. We stacking chips, all of this. What I want, plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated Pub Sports Radio. Time to get educated. Who can produce? Fade the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call it truth. They get slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and Low Baggers in the chat. That's a little weapon cause we need. Oh yeah, pubbing. We be pubbing.
All right. Excuse me. All right. Welcome into another edition of Say Hey Plays. My name is Jose Bouquett. I appreciate you guys all being in here. bright and early on a Wednesday morning here. We've got a ton of action, a full NBA slate to talk about. College football best bets from 3 college football cappers. We'll talk a college basketball game today, and we will move right into the NHL. Only 3 games in the National Hockey League for us here, but still a loaded show, 20-plus games. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll be breaking it all down with our guests here on the program, so it's nice to see you guys bright and early here, like I've said. As always, drop your plays in the chat. We need all your plays. Let us know what you guys are on. Your plays help us just as much as our plays help you guys as well. So drop them in the chat, just like our guy Justin McKelvey here. He's on Nick's team total over 116.5 there, and he is also on Boise State minus 16.5 in the playoffs. Boise State. So shout out to you, Justin, and shut the stacks.
Stacks, 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 stacks.
Shout out to you, Justin, my guy. We're going to keep rolling down this link or this comments here, but I will remind everyone that we are partners with Legal American Books now, DK, FanDuel, etc., etc. So hit that link that you guys see in the chat right now. It's pinned at the top of the chat if you're looking for a new book, BetMGM, etc. And if you want a new book, hit that link. We have offers in a lot of places here across the U.S. Shout out to Missouri, who made sports gambling legal last night as well. So all of our friends in Missouri, hopefully you guys can sign up with some new Legal American Books there using our link. Action Jackson, Wine Time Sports, serious business in here as well. Morgan Spooner dropping his action. Vermont Catamounts plus 17.5. Seattle minus 7.5 there. And he's got a little Catamounts money line as well. Shout out to you, Morgan. Thank you for dropping that in here. Res Mob, thank you for the compliment on Liverpool last night, or I guess yesterday. Whatever me and Pete gave out on Tuesday, cash, soccer-wise, it was crazy. Liverpool cash, easy. I talked about AC Milan versus Real Madrid. They went outright. It was just, it was very interesting, very good soccer breakdown from Pedro and I there. Paco Healy, nice to see you as well. Jim Doinger, shout out to my man. Got the Red Sox shirt on right now. Hopefully they make a signing this year. A pitcher signing, Jim. Nice to see you. Am I lying? Stacks. Yes, nice to see you guys. Nasty Nate in here as well. Shout out to you, Nasty Nate, my guy. Nice to see you as well. And it's yeah. I'll tell you, Mr. Res Mob. Yeah, I know. All right, let's go to our National Hockey League breakdown, and let's bring on our next guest here. He's a busy man, but he makes time for us, and we appreciate that fact. It's the one, the only, Mr. Gogster joining the program. Gogi, how are you doing?
Good, man. Never too busy for Pub Sports, the fam here. Never too busy for you guys. We got 3 games on the slate. AHL, we're rocking and rolling. There's actually already a game going on. Bridgeport, Springfield, 3-0 Bridgeport. Early one over there. So,
Jesus Christ. It's early as fuck.
Very early. I think it was a 10:30 in the morning start, so Eastern time. It's hockey's alive and well, guys. And 3 games today. Broke the shit down, broke the hell down, whatever you want to call it, as Peter Loshak used to say. I'm ready to go. Ready to go, buddy.
All right, let's get after it here. And I'm just very excited to see you, Mr. Gogster. Jim dropping Northern Illinois -2 there. Shout out to you, Jim. Rodney Barton, Textiles as well. And yes, Textiles, I forgot about both teams to score in that match as well. I did not. I forgot about that completely, so that's nice as well. UPK, nice to see you there. Jimmy does not host Wednesdays anymore. I host on Wednesdays now for Jimmy, just to give him a break on Wednesday mornings, because that Tuesday night show rolling into Wednesdays is a difficult thing there. So let's talk about these games And let's bring up Nashville Predators, Washington Capitals. Jesus, I have something in my throat apparently this whole day, and I think I'm ready to push through this, hopefully. Well, we have got UC Saros unconfirmed, so we'll see. And I'll give my site a little refresh here. And I've got Logan Thompson likely as of now, Mr. Gogster. Okay. Predators 4-7-1. They were the hot team, Gogster, right? They were the hot team that made all the signings, the additions. They thought, they're going to come through, and LA Dodgers did, I guess, is what they did this year. But now 4-7-1 to start the season, and the Washington Capitals are sitting at 8-3 right now, 6-1 at home. That feels pretty surprising to see here, Gogster. Line's pretty close, so I'll tell you guys money line splits here. 88% of the bets, 90% of the money on the Washington Capitals here. And totals-wise, like it is with most totals, bet to the over here. 73% of the bets, 79% of the money on the over there. Mr. Gogster, what do you think about this matchup?
Well, yeah, this is a team in Nashville. You guys know high hopes for this team. Saros, he's 1-1-1 on the road. Just haven't got things going really. Last 3 of 4, scoring only 3 goals, 2 in one of those 4 games. And then looking at Washington, we're high on this team coming in, guys. They got the retro throwbacks too, Jose. They got the old school screaming eagle. So keep that in mind there. Ovechkin saying how much he loves those, but. Thompson's going to be going on the other side. I'm just looking up his numbers here, guys. 4-0 at home. He's the guy that's stringing together wins. Still 909 save percentage, decent enough. But you're missing Roy and Chychrun there, Jose. That's some key defensemen for this Washington team. And then some more stats we'll get into here quickly. Your power play penalty kill in 92-84. That tells me right there both teams are pretty strong in the PK. 22% though for Nashville, 10% for Washington. That's home road splits too for you guys. 5-on-5 goals for though, Jose. Who's scoring? Who's allowing goals? 5-on-5, right? Goals allowed for Nashville. 30 goals allowed on 5-on-5 play. 12 goals for, -18. That's what's really hurting them is the 5-on-5 play, and they're going up against Washington. 22 allowed, 34 scored at 5-on-5. So this is going to be a bit of a test, back to back. Where I'm going with this, guys, I'm trusting this one. Not going to waver. Not going to waffle. Nashville first period money line -105. They got a back-to-back tomorrow. I'm expecting them to set the tone here. Yeah, it's going to be the retro throwback. They're not playing well. They're still a healthy hockey team. 5-on-5, the full game. Full game. Washington is the better hockey team, right? Just looking at the 5-on-5, it is in Washington's favor. Giveaway takeaways, pretty much a wash, slightly advantage to Nashville there, Jose. 14-16, 24-15. Nashville first period, though, guys, they got to come out strong here. Set the tone on Washington. They get behind. Doesn't get any easier tomorrow against Florida. So you got Saros going tonight, too. That's their number one goalie. Playing a good hockey team here in Washington. Set the tone here. Another bet I was trying to find, Jose, was Nashville to score first. Done that in the past too, but I'm taking first period money line -105. I'd like to hear what you guys in the chat have to think about this one, though. It's a tough game. Some really good games. The lines are like -130 or less, so some real good games today.
And which side are you on? Sorry, I was looking at the chat there. Which side on the first period there?
Predators, first period, -105.
All right, Predators, first period, -105. Shout out to you, Mr. Gogster. I will mention all that money is on Washington. The line has kind of trickled down towards Nashville there. It's not much movement, but I do like that look.
Quickly here, Philly, made in Philly says Capitals, keep it simple. I do get that. Taking them on the one advantage, though, here quickly. Shots for, shots against. So they're shooting 32 pucks on net, 28 against, 29-27 for Washington. So Nashville's playing like they're not getting killed. They're not getting killed. It's just they're not able to put the puck in the net without me mushing my words together too much here. 12 goals for, 5-on-5. That's got to turn around. And this is a team that they have a lot higher hopes than what it is. Playing a good team in Washington. First period is where I want, and they also got a 92% penalty kill on the road. So it's a team that's going to turn around sooner than later. Tough one in Washington, though.
All right. Well, you're on first period Nashville Predators there. Nice to see you, Rem Most. in the chat here as well. And Nasty Nate, I am trying to manifest a little Providence basketball success for you this year for you, my man. That'd be a lot of fun. Game 2 here, Mr. Gogster, Detroit Red Wings, Chicago Blackhawks here. Easy for me to say. A little surprised at how cheap the Red Wings are, Gogster. I'm not going to lie to you. Seemed a little trappish at first here. Let's go to the public betting numbers here real quick. We'll talk goalies and line movement. 67% of the bets, 56% of the money on Detroit. And it seems like we've got a classic reverse line movement spot here. Openers at minus 118, now down to minus 113 as well. So that's fascinating. And like I told you guys, I'll say it again, 67% of the bets, 56% of the money on the Red Wings here. For goalies, we have Cam Talbot confirmed. We're unconfirmed on the Blackhawks side, looking at Mrazek right now, but we'll see how all of that will unfold. I just, I don't get it. I'm a little surprised to see the Red Wings this big of a favorite. The line moving in the other way. This seems like a classic reverse line movement spot to me. And if I had to make one play on the card for NHL right now, it would be the Chicago Blackhawks. What do you think?
Reading it well, Jose. Reading it well. That's where I'm going on this. So I'm going for a bit of a score, actually. Here's the play right off the bat, guys. We're going Chicago money line in the over 5.5 plus 220. Going for a bit of a score on this one. Tell you why. So Blackhawks, they do have a back-to-back tomorrow at Dallas. They actually are coming off. It's a bit of a tough spot, you could say, for Chicago, but they've won 3 of the last 4, Jose, scoring 4 or more goals in 3 of the 4. And then looking at Detroit, they've allowed 3 or more goals in 3 of the last 4 games. Talbot, he's 2-1-1, but all those games are at home. This is going to be his first road start. Goals 4, 5-on-5 advantage for Chicago. Only 15 goals, 4-2 for Detroit, 5-on-5. Power play penalty kill, 26, 22, 67, 75. So let's go to the penalty minutes per game here. 932 for Chicago, 816. You want a little less penalty minutes, the better. So slight advantage to Detroit there. But the big one that stands out to me, Jose, is giveaways, takeaways. Early in this season, 28th in giveaways, the Detroit Red Wings are. So they're giving the puck away a little too much. And what's Chicago? They're 6th in takeaways. So they're going to be right on Detroit, and this they kind of feed into this team. And then giveaways too. Chicago, they're number 1. So this team does not give the puck away. They're smart with it, right? 10th for Detroit in takeaways. So when you've got a team that's got a lot of takeaways, that leads to more overs. And then something else that's going to help you over too tonight, I think, guys, and Chicago is 24 shots on goal for Detroit, 34 against. 27 for Chicago, 30 against. So a minus 10 for Detroit. I think there's going to be goals here tonight. You got a completely healthy team really in Chicago, missing Martinez, but this feels like a goal game. I would rather Soderblom, Chicago's backup. He's 1-1, 927 earlier on this season at home. I'd rather him going tonight, but they got the back-to-back. So they could actually go Soderblom and save Mrazek on the road tomorrow. So I think Chicago's live here. Detroit, I just think they're just not as good of a hockey team right now. 28th in giveaways, that's the big thing. And you're going up against a team that's top 6 in takeaways. So Chicago here, guys. I think they're live money line in the over 5.5 plus 220. Let's go.
Money line in the over here for Chicago. Excuse me. Are you taking them both of those straight as well privately? On top of the over, I guess, or just Chicago, or are you just rolling with the parlay?
I was going to do money line and I was going to do full game on Chicago, but I thought, you know what, Detroit, I think they are going to score here. They're coming off. They've lost 3 of the last 4. They're completely healthy. They're going to come in here, and I think they're going to score because both teams are allowing 30 shots or more against. So I do think Chicago can't be susceptible to allow a couple, but overall here, I think Chicago is the better hockey team, and they've showed the last week or so. Give me Soderblom, and I really love this play. I still like it at plus 220. Chicago should get this one done.
All right, beautiful work, Gogster. And for those who might have missed his play there, we'll talk about it here at the end, and we'll recap it there, so don't you worry. Let's get to our last game. What a game it is. It's a big one. Vegas Golden Knights, Edmonton Oilers. Gogster, I'll admit I'm the owner of an Edmonton Oilers Stanley Cup future. Do I feel great that McDavid is out? Obviously not, but it's still super early, so I'm not going to freak out about it. The Oilers started like fucking garbage last year. We all remember that as well. So I'm not going to worry here. But, I mean, no McDavid. We're only at minus 105 here for the Golden Knights. Sure, the team knows, obviously, McDavid's out. They're playing more accountable, like Jimmy would say. But I just don't trust the Edmonton Oilers here at minus 115. Thought it was a pretty cheap price for Vegas here. So let's talk goalies here to start off. First here, both unconfirmed daily face-off showing Aiden Hill and Stuart Skinner. So Gogster will ask your opinion on that here soon. By the way, Gogster, tickets are cheap to go if you want to go. $35 American if you want to go to this game.
It shows what McDavid does to the tickets, eh? Holy shit.
That is pretty crazy there indeed. Leon Draisaitl, we don't give a fuck about you is what that says. As for the money line bets here, kind of not surprisingly, 53% of the bets, 65% of the money on the Golden Knights there. And for the total, come on. Total, we have 83% of the bets, 84% of the money on the over here. Line opened up. Wow, line opened up actually at minus 106 each way and has moved almost 10 cents to minus 114 there to the Edmonton Oilers. So that's fascinating there. Market would probably keep me off of betting Vegas. Like I said, I have my hockey one play of the day, so I guess I'll stick with that. But you know, it might be an Edmonton spot. I don't know. What do you think?
That total's pretty crazy. Here's something for you, though. What if I told you there, Jose, the Golden Knights have yet to win on the road? They're 8-4. All those losses have come on the road. LA Kings 6-3, Florida 4-3, Tampa 4-3, Washington 4-2. Those are good teams. You know, you got to give them credit there. And then looking on the other side of things, and all those games are pretty much gone over. They've only had 2 unders this year. Vegas against Calgary 5-0, then Anaheim 3-1. Edmonton, on the other hand, they're a complete opposite. They've had 1 over pretty much since McDavid's been out. That was against Columbus where they lost 6-1. Every time you see a total 6.5, 3-0, 4-2, 5-1, 3-2, 4-0, 3-2. It's been the unders. So I'm surprised the money's really coming in on the over here. Still no McDavid. Takeaways though, 7th and 4th in takeaways, 24th in giveaways for Vegas, and they're yet to win on the road. Coming up a 3-0 loss too from Edmonton against New Jersey. Should tighten up here. I got a pretty strong lean to like the no goal in the first 10 minutes, plus 130. I'm not going to play this one though. I'm going to be off this game. Lean to also Edmonton in the first period here, but it's going to be tough. Vegas, like I said, they've lost those games, guys, but they were against much better opponents. And then Edmonton, their games just aren't going over. The easier schedule looking at it here, you know, Detroit, Columbus, Nashville not playing well, Calgary, Nashville again. So I'm going to be off this one, but I lean to a lower scoring game. Penalty kill though, Jose, 60% for Edmonton so far, which is not good, going up against a 32% power play. And also look at this, guys, 5-on-5. Reason why they're going over Vegas, they're scoring 40 goals so far, 5-on-5, allowing 30, but 40 goals for. That's leading the league right now. So they're a dangerous team, 5-on-5. Early, I could see this being tight, Oilers, you know, after that 3-0 loss, but it's going to be tough. You know, Vegas are going to want to get that first win, and they're just a better hockey team than them right now. So I would lean towards Vegas, full game, and then like a no-goal first 10. Maybe Edmonton get them early, but Vegas should. I would see them getting their first win of the on the road of the year on the road right now.
Okay, so no action for Gogster there. None for me here. And isn't it nice how these Wednesdays go, Gogster? They're nice and chill. They're not full game, like 15-day cards like they're with Pete. You guys have to rush. It's just nice and relaxed, you know?
I hate rushing with Pete, too. I really do. I'm trying to stay a little late. I'm going to try and I'll talk to some people at the old job site there and let them know maybe Tuesdays will be a little later just because of how deep the card is. And I just don't want to be rushing it with Pete. So I'll see if I can get it later.
If they watch Peter Loshak, they'll understand. So all you have to do is just show them Pete, I guess. Let's review your action here, Gogster. I'll start with mine. I'll go official here with the Chicago Blackhawks money line.
Go.
I'm seeing, I need to double check here. Our friends at BetMGM here have the Blackhawks at plus 105. So that's what I'll roll with. Official their price for me. Gogster, tell the people what your action is here.
All right, guys. So we're on the Nashville Predators here. Got a back-to-back tomorrow. Expect them to come out strong here, despite screaming Eagle jerseys for Washington. Nashville first period minus 105, and then the Chicago Blackhawks here. Stats really stand out here for Chicago tonight. Got a back-to-back tomorrow, but should have Soderblom. I'm expecting one of the better goalies over 5.5 in Chicago money line plus 220, and then I lean to the no goal Jose in that last game. And I also think, to be honest, I think Vegas, they should get him. With no McDavid and just the way they haven't been scoring really since he's been out. So that's the action. Oh, AHL. Hold on before we go here. AHL guys, still 3-0 Bridgeport. What do we got here? Wilkes-Barre. I haven't exactly had a time. I'm going to tweet out some AHL here. I don't want to rush a play here for you guys, but Calgary's playing again. They won last night. Wilkes-Barre playing Lehigh. That's probably a good play in Wilkes-Barre, but I'll tweet out the action there, guys. Gogster99 on Twitter, or on X, sorry.
All right. Well, beautiful work there, Gogster. Like you just heard him say, follow him on Twitter at Gogster99 and tell all the people at the job site we said hello today.
We will. I'm going to get it on there. Tell the boys to turn the show on and be good, guys.
All right. See you, Mr. Gogster there. Appreciate you for joining us here. Kelly McInnes just said, fuck Mr. Gogster today, though, apparently with his card saying Washington, Detroit, Vegas is what I'm doing. God, Kelly, just screwing Mr. Gogster there. But it's nice to see you, Kelly, and I wish you good luck as well. Let's get into college football here. Loaded college football slates as always. We bring on two cappers typically to give on their best bets, but due to the weather being shit in Dallas, we get a third capper in here as well. So let's bring on our first one. And he's been with us all year so far. He's been dominating. I think indeed he's at 60%. I need to look at his record again, and you'll see it on screen because it's Wine Time Sports dominating right now. Wine Time, how goes it, buddy?
Jose, my guy, good to see you as always, brother, on a Wednesday, betting with Bouquett, man. One of my favorite days of the week, man. I'm excited to get this cash with you, man. Last week was a good week. Starting with this team we're about to talk about first, so. Yeah, but shout out to everyone in the chat, man. Shout out to Gogster, who went before me. Great NHL breakdowns as always. Shout out to my guy. Shout out to Dabby Cab and Conor Mac coming on and join us pretty soon. And shout out to Billy B breaking down the NBA. And shout out to you, Jose, as always, my guy. And shout out to Justin in the chat, AOD, Mike Wilkerson, Kelly McInnes, Mally Mal, everyone in there right now. Can't see everyone, but shout out to you guys. Thanks for coming out. Let's get this cash.
Let us indeed get this cash. Wine Time. It's going to be a loaded card for you this week. I'm excited to see what you have on tap. And as is tradition, we will start with the UCLA Bruins here against the Iowa Hawkeyes here. And Wine Time, I'm not keeping up with total points scored stats or points per game stats, unfortunately for me. But I heard that the Iowa Hawkeyes are averaging 30 points a game this year.
Yeah, this offense is playing well, man. Bringing in this offensive coordinator, really big change of pace. And for them, really, Jose, it's been the second half. The first halves, they've been really quiet. It seems like the second half, they're really able to pick it up on offense. Lester's got those guys headed in the right direction for sure. And now them bringing in a quarterback too, Brendan Sullivan, man. This guy, he literally recruited him when he was the head coach at Western Michigan like 3 or 4, maybe even 5 years ago. This guy's an old guy, fifth-year guy in the program. So yeah, they made the change, and it might actually end up being better for Iowa. We'll see.
I was pretty surprised to hear that scuttlebutt here, but let's just say this. I know what side you're on already. I just looked at the markets. I glanced over, and I said, oh, of course, this is easy right here for Mr. Wine Time Sports. Here's the good news, Wine Time. You can get to this game for tickets as low as $64. Wine Time. That's got to be cheap in LA cash. I'll tell you that. But let's talk about the market in this game. 82% of the bets, 85% of the money on Iowa here. And yet, we have gone from an opener of 5.5 down to 5. Don't be surprised if you see 4.5s at some point. And it feels like the UCLA Bruins are indeed live in this game here. Total for you guys that love the totals markets here. Wow. 95% of the bets, 99% of the money on the over in this game. So that is not totally surprising because I guess I've heard people say since the legalization of gambling more and more places, people love betting overs. People that's just kind of, I guess, the square or natural thing to do, but that's crazy. And this total has gone from 45.5 down to a 44.5 and seeing some 44s as well. Wow. Wine time. Please take it away. Let's talk about your Bruins.
Shout out to Nutflush in the chat. Thanks for showing out as always for college football, my guy. Sharon right there too. But yeah, man, this is a good game here coming up on a Friday night. It's homecoming at UCLA, man. Interesting enough, Jose, UCLA still doesn't have a win at home this year. We talked about it week in and week out, kind of the gauntlet of a schedule they've had. We've continued to back them. ATS in a lot of these games, well, in every game, I believe in the last 6 weeks, I've came on here and given them out. They're a team that's covering the spread. They're playing some good ball in the trenches, man. And it really took them some time to kind of figure out their offense. They had a new offensive line this year, kind of moved around a couple guys in that Penn State game when they made the change at quarterback because Garbers was hurt that game. We saw a lot of improvement. We saw that they were able to get the ball out in time and kind of these shorter kind of throws. They're not doing a lot of deep balls down the field. It's a lot of slant routes and screens, stuff like that. Get the ball to running back, get to the tight end. They continued that after it. Once Garbers came back, man, this guy looks so comfortable in this offense right now, man. He hasn't thrown an interception. And since the Minnesota game, I mean, UCLA was leading pretty much the whole game. They lost it with, I believe, 1.5 to 2 minutes to go in that one at the Rose Bowl. It was a heartbreaking loss for them. Could very well be a 4-14, which is wild to think because a lot of people were calling this like a bottom feeder of the Big Ten. It kind of just showed their schedule. And, they also brought in a new coaching staff. And these guys are finally starting to buy in. Iowa on the other side, though, man, they've got a coach over there that's been there, pretty much as long as I've been alive in that system, man. This guy's been in the system, I believe, for 30 years. He's a great coach. I love Coach Kirk over there, man. Love everything he's doing for the program at Iowa. He's able to get guys to buy into his program. Guys are patient. They like to play for this guy. You don't see a lot of younger guys starting. You see guys that earn their time with the program, kind of like that blue collar kind of program. That's what it is over there at Iowa. They made the change at quarterback. Brendan Sullivan, a guy that can run a lot better than Cade. I don't know if he can throw better than him. Both of them, I think are a little bit suspect in the throwing game. If I'm going to be completely honest, I don't trust either of them, especially when they're under pressure. But what does Iowa like to do, man? They've got probably, in my opinion, this might be a hot take, but Caleb Johnson is the best running back in college football. He's better than Genty. This guy's got way less touches than him. He's only behind him in a couple hundred yards, and the competition he's facing is extremely better. This guy's getting like maybe 15 to 20 carries a game. This guy is a lot of people aren't talking about him being the Heisman. Get on him right now on the Heisman if Iowa makes a run. This is going to be a tough matchup for Iowa. Iowa plays extremely well at home. They struggle a little bit on the road. Go to the West Coast, man. I've done a lot of history on this game. I don't know if these teams, when the last time these two teams played, I can't recall. I'm not sure if Iowa's ever played at the Rose Bowl against UCLA. I believe they played at the Rose Bowl one time back in the day. But with that being said, man, UCLA, they got to be able to give Garbers time to throw because that pass rush is pretty good over there in Iowa. But their defense has definitely gotten a little, I would say, digressed a little bit the last season because last year they were one of the best defense in the country. Now they're actually allowing points. You look at, they do have some impressive wins, 42-10 win over a Wisconsin team. It was at home, though. 40-14 win over Northwestern. It was at home. Washington, 40-16. It was at home. You look at their two last road games, Michigan State lost, Ohio State lost. They're struggling on the road, and especially going to the West Coast here. This is a tough travel spot for Iowa. I know they're going to want to run the ball with Caleb Johnson. And, if I was in, that's what I would do too, because UCLA is probably going to play the same kind of defense they do every game. I hope they stack the box a little bit because if you stop Caleb Johnson, I know UCLA secondary has definitely struggled this season, but I trust them against that Brendan Sullivan when he's throwing out of the pocket, because I don't believe him as a passer. So we'll see about that. But we're looking at the market. It agrees with me as well in this spot. All the tickets coming in on Iowa. It was a 6.5 pretty much from Monday to Tuesday. It went to a 6.5. I know it opened at a 5.5. Scared me a little bit when it got to 6.5. I bought up. I got the 7 at -120. Texting a couple of my buddies about it, told them to get in. A lot of question marks about it. They didn't really agree with me. Market agreed with me. It moved towards my way. Love to see that. Give me UCLA. I gave them out at +7 -120 on Monday night. I mean, it's gone all the way down to a +5. I still like it. I think they get them outright. I'm not going to take them outright, though. I'm also on the under 45 -110. You can probably still get that number at a lot of spots. I think it might be 44.5 at some spots. But this game's going to go under, man. I know Iowa's been playing to the over a lot this season. But like I said, UCLA, what do they do good? They're top 15 in the nation at stopping the run. They're only allowing, I believe, 3.2 or 3.3 yards per carry because teams want to throw on them. I dare Sullivan to throw on them, honestly, on the road here. And I hope to be a hostile environment at the Rose Bowl. I can't promise you guys nothing on that game, honestly, for a hostile environment. But I'm hoping the fans show up because it is homecoming, man. This is a big game for UCLA, man. They get this win, man. They're going to go to a bowl most likely because the rest of their season, Washington, USC, Fresno State, very winnable games here. Give me UCLA, though, on the spread. Give them to me under 45. And you know what, Jose? Give them to me on the money line. Well, I haven't given this out yet, but give me on the money line at +175 right now.
All right. UCLA money line +175. And what was the number you tweeted out? And by the way, again, follow Wine Time Sports on Twitter to get all of his action right when it comes out at Wine Time Sports.
Yeah, it's going to be a +7 -120. Gave it out on Monday night. It's kind of sitting at 6.5 all the way up until last night. I got home from work. I saw it drop to a 5.5. I woke up this morning and dropped to a 5, man. And, this might, like you said, Jose, this might go to a 4.5 by game time. And if so, I'm going to like my bet even better. So get in on them right now if you want to get in at the +5. I'm taking a money line too, though. So let's go.
I will join you with UCLA +5 here as well. And later on in the week, hopefully it gets down to a 4.5 or whatever it may be. And then I will move on the money line with you as well. So I do believe the Bruins come out on top here. Shout out to the Bruins. And, maybe Josh Rosen will come back, Who knows? Maybe Josh Rosen.
I haven't seen him make an appearance at the Rose Bowl in quite some time, man.
By the way, here's your fun facts about the UCLA Iowa rivalry that they are now fostering here. And then we'll do this, and then we'll move on to a big matchup. Hawkeyes 2-7 against the Bruins. 7-2 are the Bruins against the Hawkeyes. Series started in 1938. Last meeting. Wine, any guesses?
1967.
1974.
Wow.
Iowa's won 2 of the last 4 meetings, but the last one in 1974. And by the way, Iowa 2-4 all time in the Rose Bowl. Their last time in the Rose Bowl, 2015, a 45-16 loss to Stanford. And by the way, I'm reading from the media guide basically. Iowa made sure to go ahead and mention that Iowa was awarded a forfeit in 1977 due to UCLA having ineligible players. So they went ahead and mentioned that as well.
Classic.
So shout out to
And
Iowa
Jose, something I forgot to mention too. Shout out to the Iowa fans, man. This is a game me and Moose were talking about because I thought UCLA played at Iowa next year. I was like, I'm going to go to this game next year. He's like, I'm going with you. Ended up doing some research. They don't play till 2027, but this is going to be a good matchup because Iowans, they don't really come out to the West Coast like this. And this is a Friday night game in LA. I'm not going to promise you guys anything. This might be a hostile environment. It might be 50% in the stands because those Iowa people are going to come out for this game 100%. I've already heard there's going to be 10,000 plus there from Iowa, similar to the Minnesota game, because they don't come out here and play too often. The next time they play out here, I believe isn't until 2028. They want to take advantage of this opportunity, but UCLA, the way they're playing, they just got all the momentum, and they finally, I feel like, bought into the system, and the system is working now. I think for the personnel, I think they adjusted to the system, to the personnel, and it's been working. We'll see though.
Okay, fair enough. Let's roll on to our next game here, and it's a big one. Georgia, Ole Miss, and let's bring on our other handicapper joining the program today. The one, the only, Dabby Cab joins the program.
Let's go.
Dabra, nice to see you. It's nice to see your house is still standing.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. We made it through another storm. I'm still here. We're here.
We're here. Dabby Cab, it's nice to see you. And of course, we're talking big time ball when Dabby Cab joins us here. Georgia, Ole Miss. And I'm sure all three, and I'm including Kong's Clips as well, all three of you guys have had this game circled for a while because I know it was a very popular position to be on Ole Miss over wins, national championships, etc., etc. And this game is obviously the big litmus test for Ole Miss. How good is this team really? How good is Jackson Dart? Is the defense as for real as it's been shown to be this whole year? I am excited for this game for once, especially because it's on the road here. And Georgia, Carson Beck has looked it's funny. He's supposed to be an NFL quarterback next year, maybe get drafted in the first round. And just like, good Lord, like there's just no quarterbacks right now in the draft that make me feel very confident about it at all. Beck, I don't like very much. If you told me that Jackson Dart was just a better quarterback between these two, I'd probably believe you. I mean, I could hear the case for Beck, but I'm totally out on their quarterback situation there, and they've not had a good quarterback in years now. So no action market in this game, no bets, no percentage of money's there. They have not given us this information, even though there's almost 8,000 tickets in, you sons of bitches. But I can tell you where this line has moved here, and then we'll hear from our guys, Dabby Cab and Wine Time Sports here. Dab's itching to talk about this game. I know he's itching to talk about it.
I want you to let Wine Time go first, though, because I know Kong and Wine Time and pretty much everyone I know. We're going to be – I don't like being at odds, but we are going to be on this one.
Okay, well, that's good. Then Wine Time will start us out here, and I'll mention this line opened up at 3.5. We're now at a 2.5 here for Georgia here. So I'm excited to watch this game. I'm not going to make a move on this game because I don't know the market, obviously. And you guys know me. I'm a whore for the market. But first look here, it's Ole Miss. I'm sure I know where Dabby Cab's leaning. And I'm very excited to hear where you're leaning, Wine Time. Take it away.
Yeah, big matchup here in the SEC, man. College football implications on the line here for Ole Miss. Not so much Georgia in this spot, if you ask me. Jose, you touched on already, Carson Beck. Going into the season, a lot of people had him high, top 3 quarterback on their draft board. He wasn't in my top 10. I'm not going to lie to you. Didn't have that high expectations for him. Thought he was more fit in with the system. This year, kind of showing his true colors under pressure. When he gets pressured, he's throwing interceptions. We've seen him turn the ball over a lot in a lot of these games, especially the big-time games where they've either been close or where they've lost. We saw him through 3 picks last week, Don't get me wrong, man. I'm not someone that wants to go against Kirby Smart or this Georgia team on a week in, week out basis, man. I think this might be the first time I have a bet against the Georgia Bulldogs here in maybe 2 or 3 years here. But I'm on the Ole Miss side here, man. Jackson Dart, man, what did he do to a really good Arkansas defense in a hostile environment last week? He absolutely fucking torched them, man. 500 passing yards, I believe. 5 touchdowns. This guy looked unstoppable. This guy looked like the number 1 overall pick in the draft. His deep balls were on point. I was on Arkansas in that game. I knew I was done after 3 touchdowns by Dart. I was just like, wow, this kid's on. And when he's on, he's definitely the best player in college football. Him and Cameron Ward are 2 of my quarterbacks that I had in the top 2 coming into this year, and they're still looking like that right now, I believe. And I think Dart knows he needs this game. Is Dart going to stay another year? He actually might end up staying another year. We'll see. We'll see how this season end up going for them. I'm on their over win total 9.5 in this season. Talked about it a lot. I've taken a little sprinkles on Jackson Dart to win the Heisman, for them to win the national championship, just little sprinkles. And, and this game is big time, man. And, last year, what happened, man? Ole Miss got destroyed by Georgia, destroyed. Georgia was bigger than them. They were better than them. They had better athletes. Ole Miss instantly upgraded their athletes. Look at what they did, the transfer portal. Look at their wide receivers as well. They've probably got the 3 best trio of wide receivers in the nation in Watkins, Juice Wells, and Trey Harris. And Trey Harris didn't even play last week. He's going to be ready for this game. Trey Harris, again, this guy might be one of the better receivers in college football. He's probably going to go in the 1st or 2nd round in this year's draft. Guy's 6'3", 215. He's got speed. He's got size. You really just got to get the ball in his hands, honestly. And that's Dart's guy right there. So I expect him to go to him. So I'm going to be looking at his props as well. And then Ole Miss, they like to run the ball too with Henry Parrish, man. He's been doing some good things over there in the run game for them. Jackson Dart likes to take off and run a couple times too. Who's the better athlete out of these two quarterbacks? Probably Carson Beck. Who's the better passer? I'm going to say Jackson Dart. Some people might disagree with me. Big revenge game for Ole Miss here. I'm on Ole Miss. I'm already on them full season, and I faded them last week. And after what I saw, I'm not going to fade them again. They're being a home dog here in this spot after getting smacked on the road last year to them. Give me Ole Miss here +3 -120.
Ole Miss -120 there. You said 2.5, correct?
I got +3 -120.
+3 -120 there for Mr. Wine Time Sports. Who, Sharon, you are right. Wine and Troy might be long lost cousins. Who knows? All right, Dabby. We heard one side of the aisle. I'd love to hear the other side of the aisle. I know you've been with this Georgia team, and I know the dogs are barking. So I'm excited to hear you, Cab. Go ahead and unmute your mic and tell us why.
Am I muted?
No, I was just assuming you were.
Oh, man, this is one of those games. I mean, you look at the season, Georgia against the spread right now, or last 7 games, 2-5. You got Ole Miss 5-2 against the spread. So you got one team covering spreads, one team that's not. Georgia week in and week out looks like shit against lesser competition. And it's frustrating if you're a Georgia fan or a Georgia backer, right? You watch them go against Florida against a third-string quarterback last week. And Florida could have won that football game. I mean, what's going on with Georgia? It's confusing. They start slow against Kentucky. Like these first halves, they've got to start the football game better. All that being said, I'm talking about spreads, who covers, who doesn't. This is a 2.5-point spread right here. So obviously, Georgia could win by 1 and Ole Miss could cover. But let's all be honest. Probably whoever wins is going to cover the spread. Probably. I'm going to say that again. Not guaranteed, but probably. So we're talking about just win, right? And when it comes down to just win, this is where it's Lane Kiffin, Kirby Smart for me. And I'm taking Kirby Smart, every time against Lane Kiffin. Georgia's 4-1 against the spread, last 5 against Ole Miss. And this is just a situation where Kirby Smart gets his boys ready to play. Look, I understand Beck has been terrible. Even the game against Texas where they won, he threw 3 interceptions, right? And Jackson Dart, if you want to say who's the better quarterback, I'd say probably I'd take Jackson Dart as well. I'm on the same lane with you guys. But look at that Texas game before Georgia played Texas. Quinn Ewers was, God's gift to football, according to everyone. And then get a little bit of pressure, put a little bit of Georgia in front of him, get the dogs chasing after him. Well, he didn't even finish the game. They had to put Manning in. They had to take Ewers out of the game. And I think this is going to be another situation where it's going to be fought and won in the trenches. Now, Ole Miss can play in the trenches too. Ole Miss has a better defense than we're used to seeing with Ole Miss, and they're going to put pressure on Beck. This game's going to come down to whether or not he has these stupid turnovers that he's been having. If Beck has 3 interceptions, Georgia's going to lose this football game. If he can have 1 interception or 0 interceptions, I think Georgia controls the tempo, and I think Georgia wins the football game. I trust Kirby Smart in this situation. We got a 2-loss Ole Miss team. We got a 1-loss Georgia team. I guess technically Georgia could lose this game and still make the playoffs, but that can't be the narrative in the locker room. You got to be telling your guys like it's do or die, just like it was against Texas. And if you're telling me do or die, Georgia, Ole Miss, I'm taking Georgia. So I got the dogs here.
Did you take them first half?
No.
Oh, see, I expected you to come in and say Georgia first half. You'll get in and out with your money and then let all the guys sweat out their full game. So you're going Georgia full game -2.5 here?
Yes.
All righty.
Yeah, and I understand that too, honestly. I mean, if like you said, if Carson Beck if he doesn't turn this ball over, they could win this game, honestly. And you mentioned, I mean, what they did to Quentin Ewers. I mean, yeah, against the good teams, I mean, Georgia always shows up under the bright lights. I mean, like I said, man, this isn't something like it's tough for me to go against Kirby Smart. Pretty much the best coach of the last 10 years, if you're not including Saban, probably better in the last 10 years. It's tough, man. And I like the move by Cab too, because I know he's with me on the Ole Miss team total over. So if Georgia gets this,
I forgot to say that
right there.
Yeah, I forgot to say that. I don't want to say it's a win-win because it's also a lose-lose, but I I didn't touch on that. I hedged on that, and I didn't bring it up because that doesn't affect anyone else. But if Ole Miss wins, my team total is looking great. If they lose, well, at least I win my bet. So I'm in an interesting situation here.
Yeah, both these teams too. Interesting, have a lot of winnable games the rest of their schedule. This is the big matchup for both these teams, man. This is gonna be a great game to watch, man. I'm excited for this one.
Hell yeah.
It is indeed going to be a great game. Both of our cappers on the other side. We hear both cases. You in the chat, let us know what you guys think. Who wins this game? It's going to be a fun one. And yes, it is indeed funny to me that I know, again, all three of you Kongs, Cab, all of you guys like Ole Miss coming into the season. You guys all have futures on Ole Miss. It's a tough game.
Well, I think that, and I could be wrong, but I think that Wine Time and Kong were both on Alabama when I was on Georgia. I might be wrong. I think you guys got me on that one. And
I actually didn't take that game. That was I can't ever back. I don't ever go against Alabama or Georgia. Honestly, it's just tough.
And that's the thing here that we didn't even say. This is Ole Miss, not Alabama. Georgia loses football games to one football team. It's Alabama. They don't lose to other football teams, so we'll see. It'll be interesting.
It's so weird that they only lose to Alabama for whatever reason. Yeah. All right, beautiful work, gentlemen. Cab, I appreciate you for jumping on here. Of course, go check out Medicate Monday. You can watch the Medicate Monday from this week still. Don't worry about the picks, but it's still a fun show to go watch and watch the videos, et cetera, et cetera. And don't forget, of course, the tailgate as well. Cab rolling firm. I'm not going to say that there's only a few Saturdays left of the regular season, but
makes me so sad.
There are only a few more Saturdays left of college football here, so get it in you while you can. By the way, looking at this list of players that I have on this thing makes me sad. Ollie Gordon should not be on this damn graphic anymore. But it's fine. It is fine. Cab, thank you so much for joining me here. Anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
You said it. We only got, 4 Saturdays left or 4 regular Saturdays left? So make sure and tune in this Saturday. We've been killing it. It makes me sad, man. I look forward to this for 2.5 years. Since I started doing work with you guys at Pub Sports Radio, all I wanted was a Saturday morning show. We finally got it, and it's been a blast. But we only got 4 weeks left. So let's enjoy them. Let's make them count.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Dabby Cab, beautiful work there. Let's make these Saturdays count indeed.
For real, man. Can't take them for granted, guys. We got to keep getting this cash, man. College football, man. There's nothing like it, man. I get excited waking up on Saturday mornings here on the West Coast at 5 a.m. Get ready for the show, get ready for my games and stuff. I'm excited, man. There's nothing like it.
There is nothing like it. Let's go to your last 2 games here. Wine time, because the train keeps chugging along for Wine Time Sports here. Miami versus Georgia Tech. Cam Ward. I mean, it's hilarious to see the University of Incarnate Word get talked about so much nationally. It is 2 seconds from me. Not literally, but it's very close. San Antonio School. They didn't mean shit in anything, and now they can't get stopped talking about. Even the guy standing on his head the other day, going super viral, celebrating them. Like, oh my God, Incarnate Word is just on fire right now, apparently. But they faced a Georgia Tech team who, coming into the season, we were high on. Injuries have kind of knocked everything awry. Wine, are we getting Haynes King in this game?
I mean, I'm accounting for him to play in this one. We're seeing 11-point spread. I think if he wasn't playing, it would have been like it would be at least a 14 when it opened up at. So I believe he's playing. I think he's practicing.
All right. Well, that's a good sign there for a Georgia Tech backer here. An even better sign that this allegedly opened up at 12.5 here, and we're down to the 10.5. So that is fascinating here. Let's go straight to the markets here. And Action does not have any information on this game. Action,
not a lot. Yeah, just the money line, Jose. We got 4% of money, 45% of cash on the Georgia Tech money line. Under, we got, not a big market. 44% on the under, 10% of the money on the under.
Yeah, and not much. And then we've got a 64.5 opener down to a 63 here for Georgia Tech, Miami. I mean, 12.5 points, 11.5 points kind of seems light, but I don't love road favorites. I consider betting Just based off what we talked about that market going down here, maybe I bet the under, but I'm interested to hear your take in this one.
Yeah, Jose, this is a game I know the market kind of looks to take the under in this one, but, I think this is a high total for a reason, and I think that's why I believe Haynes King will be playing in this one. They kind of had to rotate a couple quarterbacks last week, I believe. Haven't been looking that good since they've been doing that. A lot of people forget Haynes King led the ACC in touchdown passes last year, and he's also really good when he runs with the ball as well. Miami, though, man, shout out to Miami, man. This is a team I had a great read on going to the season. They did everything you have to do to make a powerhouse of a football program in the ACC. If they were playing the Big Ten and SEC, do I think they'd be 9-0 right now? I'm not sure because that defense is suspect, and we're going to get into that. But Cam Ward, man, this guy's probably the number one quarterback, I'm going to guess, on the NFL draft boards right now. Guy's a winner. Last year, I remember telling my buddies last year when he was at Washington State, when they started off 5-0, I was like, wow, this guy's going in the first round. Like this year, like this guy's the real deal. He's got such a good long ball. He's got good size. He's got poise. He's a dog out there. And, and here he is, ended up making a transfer, had that good NIL deal over at Miami. They have Xavier Restrepo, probably one of the better wide receivers in college football, man. Jose, take a look at this guy's highlight tape if you haven't yet. Man, this guy's a dog out there, man. I'm one of the better wide receivers. This guy's getting drafted in the first or second round. You also look at their running backs that they have over there. Mark Fletcher, Damian Martinez, two-headed monster over there. Damian Martinez came over from Oregon State, was the Pac-12 second leading rusher in Pac-12, I believe, behind Jaden Ott last season at Cal. Guy's an animal. Mark Fletcher, too. You get him 10 touches a game, he's going to get you yards. These two guys, you don't want them running at you. They're going to run at you hard. And then what can Cam Ward do? And if things kind of break down, he can take off and run with it, too. Him being 6'2", 225, and his speed he has, his athleticism that he has, this guy's the real deal, man. This guy's got every tool to be great, and Miami can pretty much name their number, I believe, against any defense in the country. My question is, can they hold up their end on the defense? We've seen them collapse in a lot of these games. We've seen them having to come back from behind in a lot of these games. We saw Duke, they kind of, when they were up a lot of points, they just kept throwing the ball. They didn't want to slow the game down. They want to keep throwing. They want to score, see if they can score 50 or 60 in a game. We're looking at a high total here at 63.5, Jose. I'm on the over in this spot. I think 70 points at least will be scored in this one, especially if Haynes King is going to be played. I think Miami is going to be able to name their number, which will probably be around 41 or 42. And I'm going to guess Georgia Tech to be able to score 24 with Haynes King. Duke scored 32. This Duke offense is one of the worst offenses in the ACC. Great defense, but we saw that defense get torched. And that's a way better defense than Georgia Tech. So what can Miami do against this Georgia Tech team? We'll see. I don't know if they're going to be able to cover this spread or not. I would probably lean towards Miami in this one because I think they have to start making some statements. They don't have to start making statements. They're in the college football playoff if they win out and win their ACC title game, no matter what. But with that being said, man, give me the over 63.5. This is going to sail over the total. This isn't going to be close. It's going to hit 70 points. Give me the over.
All right. Over for wine time here. 60. What number did you get?
63.5 minus 110.
Yeah. All right, cool. So that's what I had you down for there. Beautiful. And by the way, some hockey breaking news for you guys. Connor McDavid is actually back tonight.
Oh, wow.
As well. So that makes more sense of why the line moving in their direction. So you hockey cappers, make that note. All right, let's keep rolling here. Our last game on the board before we bring on Conor Mac Picks. Penn State, Washington here. It's kind of annoying. Wine. We go through all these sports every year, and every year it's like, oh, it's gonna be different. It's gonna be different. This is gonna, and it never fucking changes. Wine time. It never changes. James Franklin will never beat Ohio State. We see that all the time. And now we have to watch them pick themselves off the mat here on a disappointing loss. It was close. They were up 10 points at 1.2, which is disgusting. But I just see them pick themselves off the mat and play Washington here. And they're firmly in the playoffs. Firmly in the playoffs. I thought it was funny that their first round matchup was against Notre Dame. That's just like a fraud bowl. That is the most fraud bowl ever. Like, it's just classic. So I was excited for that, but this is major. We're fine. We just need to win out vibes for Penn State. And I'm excited to hear what you have to say about this game here, Wine. Let's go to the market real quick, or let's see if the market has anything to say for us here. 56% of the bets, 69% of the money on Penn State here. We have an opener of 14 going down to 13.5. Semi-interesting. We're seeing some 13 as well here. Total wise, let's scroll back up here and find that real quick. We have scroll. There we go. Total wise, you guys can do the math equation here, but only 7% of the bets and 7% of the money are on the under in this game here. Everyone loves betting overs, Wine. What do you think about this game?
Yeah, another good matchup in the Big Ten here, man. You know, talk about two teams we talk about every single Wednesday, Jose. If we're being quite honest, I think we talked about Penn State the last 4 or 5 weeks, same with Washington. With that being said, man, I know these two teams really well. Watch them on a consistent basis. I watch a lot of their practices and their interviews and stuff along with that too. And yeah, man, you kind of touched on it. Penn State, man, they're really just trying to win out the rest of the season, get to the Big Ten matchup. And even if they win out, losing the Big Ten title game, they'll probably still end up sneaking their way in because they're Penn State. We'll see about that though. Interesting matchup though, man. Washington, a bunch of dogs over there, man. Entering this game at 5-4. You know, we've talked about how they could be like undefeated up until this point. Other than that Iowa game, they've been in pretty much every single game. You know, I ended up getting on Washington last week against USC about 2 hours before the game. You know, everything was just clicking in that. I wanted it all week and I was looking at it and I finally just pulled the trigger and I was like, USC blows in the second half. Washington's going to win this game. They end up cashing for me in that spot. And, you know, take a look at their running back, Jonah Coleman, man. One of the more underrated running backs in all of college football and definitely probably one of the better running backs in all of college football. Absolute dog out there. Will Rogers, you know, he's a fifth-year senior. This guy's played a ton of college snaps at the high level and the SEC level and now in the Big Ten. He's playing well, man. You know, Will Rogers, you know, he needs to stay away from the mistakes a little bit. You know, we've seen him make a couple mistakes in some big games. But, you know, he's accurate. He gets the ball out quick. That's the thing about Will Rogers. It's always out super quick with him, super accurate as well. You know, we just need him to not have any turnovers in this one. You know, Drew Aller, you look at the quarterback from Penn State, hasn't been playing his best football this year, honestly. You know, I see Dabby Cab right there saying Penn State's the most over. Yeah, I believe it, man. When they were in the number 3 team, I said I've never seen a worse number 3 team in the nation, man. You know, and it's been their schedule. They haven't really had to play anyone, but this is definitely going to be the toughest matchup the rest of the season. I definitely think Penn State's going to have to try to get up for this one, coming off that crushing loss at home, coming back at home here. But we got Washington coming in this game, man. I mean, they're the number 2 passing defense in the nation right now. No one's been able to get the ball in the air through these guys. And you take a look at Coach Belichick over there, the defensive coordinator. Guys really turned this defense around over there. Shout out to him, man, doing a great job. And and I think they're going to continue to be able to do a great job on the defensive side of the football. They're going to have to capitalize in the red zone. They're going to have to stay away from the flags, but their field goal kicker has been making some decent field goals the last couple of weeks. He's definitely picked it up. I think their struggles in the earlier season are definitely getting cleaned up on a week in and week out basis because can't forget Jed Fish is still the head coach over there, man. I mean, we saw him turn around Arizona in 2 years, man. Inheriting a program where he only had a couple months to really recruit and get guys out of the portal. A lot of those guys that were on this team last year that won the national title are playing in the NFL or left or transferred. So with that being said, man, give me Washington. I got him at the plus 14, minus 110 here all day long here, honestly, man. I'm definitely going to sprinkle some on the money line. Penn State will probably win this game, but I think it's worth a sprinkle because I think Washington's going to be able to go toe for toe with them every step by step, every single point in this game. It's going to come down to the fourth quarter. And yeah, it's going to come down to if Will Rogers if he doesn't have any turnovers, I think they can maybe even win this game outright. I'm not going to give out the money line by any means, but give me Washington plus 14, minus 110.
Washington plus 14 there, minus 110 for wine time. That major disappointment the week before, that's just going to be huge to see how James Franklin can bounce back from it. Now, he's very used to bouncing back from it. It happens every year, so I'm sure he's very adept at doing this. But I agree. I couldn't back Penn State either. And I don't know if Drew Allard is not good. Is Penn State's coaching not good? It's just all of that combines into me not believing in Penn State here as well. And I'm fascinated to watch them play in the first round of the playoff. I assume they'll get there. If they play Notre Dame, I'll be just that's the most fraud bowl that's ever happened. Two teams that perennially get blown out by bigger sides. It'll be fun to watch in that game. So beautiful work there. Wine, let us review your action here. I'll let you review your action just in case I wrote anything down wrong here. A nice chunky slate for you. I'm excited to hear it.
Yeah, shout out to Super True Story. He said, why not take first half, get out of there? Definitely might be something I look at the day of. I'm just on them full game. I got a plus 14 on Monday. It's a 13.5 right now. If it goes back to a 14, I might try to get it on the first half. If I can get like a 7.5, I don't know what it is right now, honestly. Definitely a good look, though. Don't get me wrong. But my only worry is if Penn State does kind of come out hot, I don't think they're going to continue to stay hot. I think they're going to try to milk this game out and not win by margin, just try to get out of here with a win. So in that case, Washington maybe gets that backdoor cover in the second half. Just my opinion on it. But yeah, going to give out the plays right here, guys. We're on the UCLA, Iowa under 45, minus 110. UCLA plus 7, minus 120. It's all going to be on Friday night, guys. I gave this out on Monday. I gave out the money line with Jose too at plus 175. I'm going to make that official on Twitter right now. We're also on Miami, Georgia Tech over 63.5, minus 110. We are on Ole Miss plus 3. Correction, I got minus 115, not minus 120. So it is minus 115. Washington Huskies plus 14, minus 110. And that is my action. I might end up adding the under in the Penn State game as well. If so, I'll tweet it out and I'll tag Jose and we'll include that as well because we broke it down. But just because I do think it's going to be a fairly low-scoring game if Washington wants to cover this game, as their games have pretty much been all season long, along with Penn State. Two teams that really struggle to score touchdowns in the red zone. So I'm definitely leaning the under in that as well. But that's it for me, guys. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, well, beautiful work there. Wine Time Sports, I appreciate you joining me on these Wednesdays. You've had a great record. You're up 5 units on the year. Feeling good, high stepping. And I hope your Bruins cash because last week you had a good UCLA cash as well. Let's keep the momentum rolling. Anything else you want to plug before you get out of here?
Yeah, Jose, appreciate you as always for having me on a Wednesday, man. Betting with Bouquett. Always a greght time with my guy here. Shout out to everyone in the chat as always, man. Steve G, Justin, Action Jackson, Markel, Super True Story. All of you guys out there. I'm sorry if I missed you. Just when I'm looking at the computer, it only gives me like the first 7 comments, but shout out to you guys, man. Best chat in the game right there for sure. Catch us on Friday with Jimmy the Bag. I'll be breaking down the college football. And I gotta be chipping away at this NBA record. I might hop on here a couple games with Jose and Billy.
Yes, I almost forgot about that.
Yeah, if so, I'll hop on backstage and give you the thumbs up. Jose, there's a couple games I'm looking at, so you guys might see me here in a little bit. But yeah, shout out to C-Mac about to come on. He's going to give you guys some winners, man. The guy's been on fire. Love hearing what he always has to say about college football. Shout out to Dabby Cap for joining us as well. Tailgate on Saturday, Boston the Sauce on Saturday, live stream Saturday. And yeah, guys, appreciate you guys for having me. Follow me on Twitter, Wine Time Sports. Appreciate you guys as always.
Beautiful work, Wine Time. We'll see Wine Time back here again shortly for some NBA action. So shout out to you, Wine Time. Very excited for all of that. Conor Mac's going to be joining us here shortly, but let's start talking about the Maction here. I'm interested to break these games down, and we'll talk about market spread, last few games, and then Conor Mac will be joining us here shortly. But let's talk Ohio versus Kent State to start this off. 6 o'clock game. Ohio favored by 19.5 points on the road. Good Lord. Don't worry, guys. You guys can get into this game for only $11 here. But Kent State has been horrid all year. They're 0-8, 0-4 in conference here. Last 5 games at Western Michigan, 52-21 ass kicking. Go to Bowling Green, 27-6 ass kicking. Lose to Ball State in a close game, 37-35, where Ball State definitely tried to blow that game multiple times. Eastern Michigan, 52-33, and to put the cherry on top of the shitty Sunday, you get crushed by Penn State, 56-0 there. So It's been tough. If we look at not Northern Illinois, Kent State here, Ohio. I got all my teams mixed up here now. But let's look at Ohio's schedule here in their last 5 games because they have not played anyone of any of the same opponents yet, which is kind of unfortunate. But their last few games, they roll Buffalo 47-16. They lose to Miami, Ohio 30-20 there. Central Michigan 27-25, and Akron a 30-10 victory there. So Ohio definitely is a factor in the MAC here. I'll remind everyone right now, MAC standings, Western Michigan 4-0 in conference, Bowling Green 4-1, Miami, Ohio 4-1, and Ohio looking to join that group to being 4-1 as well. So shout out to Ohio for that. Let's go to the market in this game and let's talk about where we are at this point. And thankfully, Action has these markets because they start today. Ohio, 49% of the bets, 59% of the money there. So pretty split each way. It opened up at scroll 18 and has only gone up to 19.5 here. So just still climbing up here. Good Lord, it's just disgusting to see here that Ohio is just getting all this love and being a 19.5 point favorite. I'd probably only lean in their direction here. Total wise, 69% of the bets, 85% of the money on the over. And again, people have been telling me, and I kind of believe it, that, overs are very, I don't want to call overs public, but everyone likes betting overs. So more people bet overs than under, and that's why we'll see more overs than unders bet perennially in every sport. And, this is obviously just ball sports, but it's fascinating to see all that happening. 53 total goes up to a 52.5 here. So that's fascinating to see. Let's bring on our other college basketball, college football expert here. He comes on with us every Wednesday as well. We're talking Maction because I know he loves him some Maction because his name is Conor. Make it Mac Daddy. Conor Mac Picks. Welcome to the program.
Jose.
Nice to see you.
What up? I'm good. What's going on?
Not too much.
Going out.
Breaking down Ohio, Kent State. Kent State is particularly garbage, huh?
Yeah, they've been garbage for a while now. Tough team to take. They've covered some numbers, but no wins here.
No,
Jose.
yeah.
Can they? I don't think they win here tonight.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think tonight's the night. I leaned Ohio. If I had to make a bet on this game, I will not be, because betting a road favorite of 20 points just does not feel that great to me. But it does feel like Ohio or nothing here for me after the breakdown. And yes, Justin McKelvey, this is Conor Maction here, so we would love to hear your take on this game.
Yeah, this wasn't the game last night. Very good in the Maction. I like the other game. We'll get to it. Ulatowski here for Kent State. This kid is just not very good. He was horrible last year. There's a lot of bad quarterbacks when you watch the MAC, and the offense hasn't got there. They've got some junk points at times during the year, but they just haven't been very good. Ohio, one of the better defenses. Let's hit on this total real quick, and we've seen all those overs from the past days in the MAC. Not so much. There's a lot more unders in this league so far. And we have, last night there was kind of some shitty weather in that game, but there's good weather here. I mean, 62, 5-mile-an-hour wind. We are looking good. Ohio should dominate here. Navarro should be good against this horrible defense. And one of the keys is they're just going to run the ball. 11th in the country, 216. Kent State can't stop it. They've just been dreadful all year long, 125th. They gave up 211. Just been bad. Sorry, 134. That's our next game. 264 yards on the ground. Jose, sorry for Kent State.
Yeah,
they're
don't
fucking bad.
Change them.
Yeah, I was off. That's our next game that I had written down here. So this is tough. Ohio wins. I think if you look Ohio, if you're a little bit, maybe their team total, see if they can jump out them early. There's been a little bit of a problem, and it happened last night. These teams laying big points, more than 2 touchdowns on the road, Jose. Like this may be one that's gettable, but it's just something you don't want to do consistently. You're going to just light money on fire in the MAC consistently because these teams are a little bit too close. But a team like Kent State has literally been the dog shit. We're like the 8 can beat the 1. They just haven't been anywhere near there. But I don't know. The back door maybe could be open in this game late. I can't take them. Not enough trust in the offense, and the defense is still just basically dead last in a ton of categories. Can't take it. Pass it. Let's move on.
Let's move on to the other MAC game tonight. Northern Illinois, Western Michigan here. And
Jose, Illinois.
What? We're saying the same thing.
Northern Illinois. You got to cut that shit out. You've been doing that too goddamn long. Fuck.
You should, Connor. You should hear me on the golf course when I start saying irons. Oh my god, I get people start looking at me like I have fucking 3 heads, and it's hilarious. I'll go up to the club shop and I'll be like, "Yeah, I was hitting my irons really well today," and the guy will just kind of like double check and be like, "What the fuck did this guy just say? Did you say irons?" And no one ever says anything to me, but irons is my favorite thing to say there. I'm not gonna lie.
Unreal. Unbelievable.
NIU here, a big matchup here. NIU, we obviously remember earlier in this season, coming up, going to Notre Dame, whooping their ass in front of DJ Big Boss's face. Shout out to DJ Big Boss. But Northern Illinois has hit the shits, and it's kind of sad. You know, I guess they really did peak that one day just to screw over DJ. But last 5 games for NIU, they lose to Ball State in a close one. They lose to Toledo 13-6. Disgusting. They pulled out a 17-7 victory against Bowling Green, but just bad offense. I mean, sure, they scored 23 points against Ball State, but here's the spoiler alert. I love Ball State, but they're not that good. So that does not seem good. Western Michigan on the other side at 5-3, 4-0 in conference, 4 straight victories, 52-21 against the aforementioned Kent State. A close game, 48-41 at Buffalo. Another semi-close game at Akron, 34-24, and then they beat Ball State in a close game there as well, 45-42. It is, to me, Connor, I feel like this is a shocking line to see NIU favored on the road. 94% of the bets, 91% of the bets, 94% of the money on NIU in this game. No total information for us here, unfortunately, in this game, but the spread opening up at a pick'em going to -1.5, -2. I think that really is all you need to know about this game. I cannot believe that they're favored in this game. And if I don't understand a line for whatever reason, I've adopted the mantra of just betting that line because it's that weird for a reason. So if I had to make a game play on this game right now, Connor, it'd be NIU. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, this is a toss-up. See, and now the spread here is low enough in this game. Like, they're favored by 1.5, 2. Because a consistent, another MAC team, whether it's their home or on the road, if they're laying points, they've been horrible. Like, just awful under the head coach. I mean, it is bad. The record's like 4-20 the last few years. And then when they're a dog, Eastern Michigan, that's how crazy these wins they are. We lose that one week. Right next week, last week they covered easy, catching 10, of course, right after that with that game. It's kind of how it's been here on fucking Wednesdays. But it's for another day. Someone just put it in the chat, Jim. Yeah, one thing with Western Michigan, they have, I guess, beat up on some shitty teams, especially the last 3 weeks. Ball State playing better. That game was high scoring and tight. And then Akron, Buffalo, Kent State. Going back to the first game of the year with Wisconsin, I took the under there and that game. They covered pretty easily in that game. But now they've turned it on. They've been an over team. So can they score points here? That's what I was in this one. They definitely can run the ball. NIU, one of the better rush defenses out there, especially here in the MAC. I only give them 110 yards a game. That's 24th. So can they stop here? And overall, their defense has been good, just giving up 275 in this one. I think they'll be able to score. Last year, too, different quarterback. We'll hit on Hampton in a minute. There, it was Lombardi, and they were at home, but Wolf played in this game. NIU 24-0, Jose. Just throwing that out there. So I think they remember that a little bit. And on this side, Northern Illinois, the offense just hasn't been good here. Hampton's been a turnover machine. This team consistently fumbles it. They're down in the 120s. Interceptions by him. If they can hold on to the ball, maybe they win here. And Western Michigan hasn't turned it over. Wolf's been good really all year. Like, I worry that these horrible games, because I've had these unbelievable, it seems like the last 3 or 4 weeks when I've been on a team and they have 5 turnovers, Jose. Duke, Boston College a few weeks ago, where they just fucking fumbleina, fumbleia, crazy shit going on. But I think what happens here, I think this is a good one. And I have to take Western Michigan. I was going to stay off here, but I'm going to take them in a close game. I wanted the 3. We talked about Northern Illinois being a favorite. I just I don't buy him. And one thing is, I don't really buy Western Michigan. I think they have the better quarterback if he doesn't turn it over, and they're at home here. So give me the +2, -110 here. The money line's even money, but give me the 2 just in case this game is tight.
All right, here you said +2 there for our guy Conor Mac Picks to open up his card here today.
Real quick,
Beautiful.
Northern Illinois under, and I've taken 2 or 3 of them. So, but if that doesn't happen, if Western Michigan score, this game could go over. But like we've seen, these games just haven't seen a ton of points at all.
And Northern Illinois' defense seems like pretty stout.
Pretty good, but I don't think they're great. I think they are solid. I thought maybe if Western Michigan, there could be points, but I don't know. At 52.5, I kind of was looking the other way. When I initially saw this, maybe it could go over, but I think, I'd more lean to the under in this game. So yeah, Western Michigan +2.
Well, let's bring on our guy Wine Time Sports back here because he has a bonus play in this game. So let's bring him on here, Wine. Welcome back. Please take it away. Regale us with this bonus play. I'll be lurking in the shadows listening.
Yeah, shout out to C-Mac for breaking this game down. It's a good game right here, man. I was definitely leaning towards the Western Michigan side in this one as well, guys. Just kind of tough here, having them be a home dog here. That's the only thing in this situation. But I'm on the under in this spot, guys. I'm on the under 52.5 at the best number available right now. You guys kind of touched on it. I'm not sure if there's going to be a lot of points scored in this matchup, honestly. Northern Illinois, they like to run the ball. They've got a decent quarterback. Western Michigan, they like to run the ball as well. They've got that guy Wolf over there, 6'5", 240. He's got a decent arm. They've also got a really good running back in Jaden Nix. He's averaging like 7 yards a carry with 10 touchdowns. This guy's a pretty good running back for this conference right here. And I think they're going to try to milk this game out, honestly, either way. And I don't see this game hitting close to 50, honestly. I see this more of about a 46 or 47. So I gave it out last night at the under 53. Give it to me the best available number right now, though, because I want to give the chat some action from me tonight. And I think this goes way under the total here.
I've got 52.5 -110. Connor, unless you have anything better, that's what we'll give you there. Wine Time Sports there. And again, beautiful work here today breaking down the card. Thank you for jumping in here real quick and giving us this bonus play. And
yes, sir.
We'll see you in the NBA here soon. Now let's get back on track. I immediately did go out of order here to talk about today's game. Let's get to Connor's best bets. And Connor have had some shitty luck on this show on Wednesdays in general. A lot of people have had some shitty luck on it. But we're going to bounce back here, and it starts with Rice versus Memphis. And Memphis, boy, oh boy, Memphis, they blew it last week. Connor. 7.5-point favorites on the road at UTSA, a UTSA team that just lost one of their most embarrassing defeats in program history, bounces back, and with one of their best, beating this Memphis squad. A guy on their team injures himself celebrating. It was just bad vibes all around for Memphis last week. What is different this week? They're playing Rice, which is very helpful. But 42% of the bets and 78% of the money is on Rice here. So that is fascinating. Just sharp, bigger bets on Rice so far. We've gone from a 10.5 to a 9 now. So the line is moving in the direction of these Rice Owls here. But how far can we trust this Rice team? And do I want to back a potentially angry? Does Memphis care? They're at home too. I was pretty surprised to see this line going back down to Rice here. And especially because Memphis rolling in their last 5 games. That terrible loss to UTSA sucks. And Rice coming off of beating Navy, who for the whole year has been one of the darlings of college football. And they've hit the shits in the last 2 weeks. But what do you think here, Connor? It feels like a team off of a letdown loss and a team off of a big victory here. What do you think?
Yeah, it is. But one thing I can't trust this Memphis team as far as I can throw them, even off the loss. One thing, even if they win this football game, now if you got the 10, which I had, but I still think this is okay at 9, they just haven't covered numbers. And I thought they got lucky a little bit early on in the year. They showed their defense wasn't very good, but they were able to pull some out. Like that win against Troy. Troy was going through a ton. They've been a little bit better going through the season. And then a horrible Florida State team back in September 14th, 20-12. That doesn't look so great either. They've got back to the normal team. And when they played South Florida, they played the backup quarterback. Couldn't move the football the whole game there. So they get that cover. But this is back to where they've been consistent the last 3 or 4 years, especially their quarterback here, Seth Hennigan. Numbers like this, not covering here. Now, like UTSA, Charlotte, North Texas, they were able to score. They should be able to score here a little bit. Most thing I've been impressed is Rice team is their defense, and it's even traveled on the road. They haven't been great on the road, but at Tulane, 24-10, they lost by 7 at Connecticut. And then last week, off the big win against Navy. One thing I've liked better, like I talked about, the defense is totally flipped around. They've been stopping the run like crazy. And Warner, right here, EJ Warner, he has to be better. He's been a little bit better. He had 240 and a touchdown last game, especially if he doesn't turn the ball over. I think they're in this game from start to finish. And I know the record, on the road is shitty. That's but those 2 early losses to Houston and Army, and I faded them early on in that Houston, that first game. I didn't think they were that bad, so they could turn it around. Home wins at UTSA and last week. I think they're in this from the very beginning. Memphis classic team, that just leaves the door open in this game. It's a 3-point game here, touchdown tops. So I'm on Rice.
Rice plus 9 here for Connor. I mean, I have to agree. The market just feels like it's screaming out Rice right now. I'm not going to lie. And it might be a classic bubble burst kind of thing here. So I find that interesting. Connor, would you rather have 9.5 minus 115 or 9 minus 110 there? Shout out to our friends at FanDuel.
I think I have a 9 at minus 105 here.
9 minus 105. Confident
Circa.
That
Yeah.
Conor
Yeah.
Mac Picks. 9 minus 105 there. Let's go to game 2. Temple versus Tulane. I'm not going to lie, Connor. I was surprised to see you pick this game. 26.5-point favorites, Tulane. Maybe you just like the American. I don't know. But they're at the top with the aforementioned Army Black Knights. And I'm interested to see what they do here. Or I should say, I guess, what they do in the rest of the season. This is in New Orleans as well. Temple, just not a good team Their last few games, they get crushed by ECU 56-34. They beat Tulsa, lose to UConn, crushed against Army. And this Tulane team is maybe the best offense in the American. I know they're 7-2, but I mean, listen to these last few games: 34 points, 45 points, 24 points against Rice. Respect. 71 points, 45 points. They can score at will here, Connor, and it definitely feels like a game that they could just pick their number, and it makes 27-point favorites a little appealing in that aspect, but I find it always tough to bet these big favorites here. Market in this game, Tulane, 50% of the bets on Tulane, but 99% of the money is on Tulane as well. So huge bets being put on Tulane early here to just kick Temple's ass here. Conor Mac, I'm excited to hear this breakdown. Real quick before I hand it off to you, I'll mention this is a 26 opener up to a 26.5. So if I had to bet a big favorite, it would be in these kind of market situations. So I'm fascinated to hear your thoughts, Connor.
Yeah, this Temple team, my preseason win totals are all looking really good. I am going to cash basically all of them. This one is on a bad team. I usually take one or two of them. Last year it was Stanford. They just got there. I took over 2.5 with Temple. They're not winning here, Jose, but I think they could win next week at FAU. They already got the 2. Who knows? Even UTSA, I don't think that happens, but sorry for you there. But I think they could win one of those 2 there, and they get over it. Hopefully, maybe I could sweep the board on these totals for the year. Yeah, they've been really bad, and this is the defense that I was talking about. This was Tulane that I had written down. I hit on earlier. Just one of the best offenses around, especially when they handle teams like this in conference. 260 yards, 11th in the country. Temple 125. They gave up 211 a game. They're going to be on top here early. I thought about going first half, but one thing I've seen with Tulane, it's been really consistent, except the Rice team we just talked about, kind of a sleepy game. This could be, but I think Temple's defense is horrible compared to Rice, who we just talked about. They get to the 40s here. I just thought that was cheap here, especially like a number when I got 37.5 team total, minus 115. I'm on it. I have to be on it. This offense has just been too good with Mensa. The defense Temple shouldn't really do anything. I love what I saw. Temple go another road game here again, where they just gave up 56 to ECU, an offense that's just been struggling really all year long. So yeah, I love this year. They get to 40 and they might sit on it, but they get there, I think, easily here. So when I saw 37.5, I'm on it. Team total.
All right, 37.5. What juice?
Minus 115.
Minus 115 there. Makes a whole lot of sense to me. I think Temple gets stopped here. Maybe we'll see another 70 piece put up. And our last college football game of the schedule here, but we do have a bonus college basketball game. Western Kentucky, New Mexico State. Shout out to Nasty Nate and his nephew, graduated there. And shout out to Diego Pavia from New Mexico State as well, I believe. But Western Kentucky, 18.5-point favorites here, Connor. It's another one. It's just you the big favorites. It's very interesting that you've put so many on here. And again, I never bet them. That's why I'm glad that you're talking about these games here. But it's at least you're going up against the dregs here. New Mexico State, not a team that I'm looking to back anymore. They had their peak when Nasty Nate's nephew was there. And now that he's not, I'm out. So it's a tough game for me, Connor. I'm off this game, obviously, but I just want to give the floor to you immediately and hear what you have to say about this game. It's going to be fascinating.
Yeah, I think this number's really big in just a total spot where Western Kentucky, I think, just gets in and gets out with a win. And they've been really good, ATS. I mean, they're 6-2 and 62 ATS in this game. different old player. Last year, New Mexico State beat them. Just totally old. Pavia was there. Reed was at quarterback for Western Kentucky. So that's a little bit different. But one place I found success, and I hate Tony Sanchez. I hate him from his UNLV days. I haven't wanted to touch them on the road, but at home, this team's been a little bit different, and they've been able to move the ball. Now they still have a horrible defense. That's not very good. One thing with Western Kentucky, they want to throw it, though. I think they're not going to hold them in check here at all, Camp. But I think they're going to be able to score here in this game. Look at last time they were home. I was on them there against La Tech. I mean, they won outright as 12-point dogs. We're not going to see maybe a win here. But I think Liberty down but 6 points at home earlier in the year. They lost by 10 to New Mexico in a shootout, 50-40. Western Kentucky, I think, goes with their wins. But I want these 19 points with New Mexico State. Only place I want them here is at home. Nobody's going to be on them, Jose. Nobody. So I'll be on them here. Plus 19.
That's facts. Nobody will be on them. So that is a good time to bet them here. Juice on that one as well?
Give me the 18.5 then. Minus 110. I can't find the 19.
Minus
one thing, they won't stop it. So I kind of lean to this over too. Like Western Kentucky's defense has been better. But look, Kennesaw, horrible offense. So, I mean, they hung around. Sam Houston lost their quarterback. Kind of like you felt really good there with him going out. They score 14 points and win the game 31-14. 31-14 gets us a cover here, but Western Kentucky win this, but I got to take these points here in a sleeper.
All right, well, let's hope for a sleeper, a low-scoring Western Kentucky victory, and they cover, hopefully. That'd be nice there. Connor, again, we appreciate you joining here for these college football games, but we mentioned it earlier. There's only a few college football Saturdays left, and coming into full bloom is college basketball, and I know you cook when it comes to college basketball as well, so I love hearing your breakdowns, your analysis when it comes to it. You sent me one game today that you wanted to talk about. I'm excited to hear your action. Seattle U versus Eastern Washington. And again, my favorite part about Conor Mac betting here is that we're going into the drags. We're going into the deep weeds to find these great plays here, Connor. 15% of the bets, 89% of the money on Seattle U here. Fascinating. A lot of people betting them here. And let me tell you where this opened. According to our friends here, Seattle opened up at 8, and it is still there at 8 right now. Fascinating. What do you think here, Connor?
Yeah, shout out to the chat. We'll hit through a couple more games, and if you guys have any questions on a couple, we can always go through a few, because there's always today. There's not a ton, but there's a good amount. Running hot too. 4-0 start to college basketball. All basketball. NBA's been good too. I think I've hit 9 out of the last 10 in the association. So everything rolling good. Yeah, I love this game when I got to it, and I know all the people which I saw in the money here are on Seattle. A team that I loved betting last year. Very, very good. They're 23-14 overall. Didn't love them much on the road at times, and that's where they're at here. And they lost their best players here. Cam Tyson, Schumacher, Chatfield, all gone. All their best scorers in this one. They bring back a few. Kobe Williamson's all right, and a few others. They got a transfer from Idaho State. That's all right. And I think they're going to be pretty good. I think there's too much love here for Seattle in this game. Flip to the other side. Let's go to Eastern Washington. Already played a game at Colorado. Second half got their ass kicked, and that might happen here. But I think things could change. It might not be right away. And their head coach, Dan Maltz, the original Gonzaga coach, Jose, and he's the guy who got hung out to dry at Long Beach last year, Long Beach State, and then they lost 5, but still went to the – yeah. So here he is here. He coached at Minnesota too. So I think he'll get this program rolling around. So the first half they hang around. They get blown out. They lose by 20. They were 17-point dogs in that game. Colorado, not an easy place to play. I don't find it that big. This team does struggle to shoot at times, and they lost a ton of their, scores from last year. They still have Nick McClain. They have a bunch of other guys, and they played 10 guys with 15 minutes or more. So there's still, going to be some issues on who's in and out. But I love them here at home. They've won their last 15 non-conference games here at Rescore. I love backing them at home. When they go on the road, they're a fade. To me, this is too many points. All the love's here on Seattle tonight. And watch out. And if they do get hot, they could really get going. And we've seen over the last few years. Last year's team struggled to shoot it a little bit. And even that first game, they had 31 points. 31% from three, 64% from the line. But I think they're going to be better here. So I'm on the +8. I got an 8.5, actually. We're on, but give me the 8 here, if that's all that's on here.
I can get you an 8.5 minus 105.
Oh, you can? Beautiful. Give me
Actually,
the 8.5.
just kidding.
Here.
I was looking at minus 115 there. I can actually get you.
That's fine. Give me the 8.5. I mean, the 8's fine. It doesn't matter. If I can get an 8 here, let me see if I can get an 8 with lower juice.
Okay. Well, what about
see if I
8
can find it
minus
here.
108? Does that interest you there?
That's decent. I'm trying to get a
Minus 105.
105 around there if we could get. Let me see if I can find one.
Well, you search for that. Connor, again, I appreciate you. And shout out to DC Capper for becoming a Pub Sports Radio member. We appreciate you, my man. All these memberships help out the program, so we appreciate you. Thank you very much. And yes, Gravy Bet. Shout out to Missouri for passing sports betting last night. It was a sweat, as they say. Shout out to you, Gravy Bets. Connor, any other games that you wanted to touch on here? So I just heard you mention that you might have had some extra ones you want to mention.
Yeah, if you already got any games in the chat, hit me up real quick if you want to talk any out, because I know we're not doing a bunch. There was a few. Let me touch on it. Vermont. That was my team I took the other night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they beat UAB.
And real quick, Morgan Spooner mentioned it as well. He's on Vermont plus 17.5. He's on Seattle as well, but we don't have to talk about that.
Of course he is.
Vermont plus 17.5, and he also took Catamounts money line plus 1,200. Auburn fans are focused on the football game tomorrow. The gym will be dead, and Auburn sights are on the Houston Cougars there. So shout out to you there, my guy Morgan.
Yeah, I could see it. I don't agree with the Seattle, but I was on. They went outright. One thing in that game, UAB went 0 from 3. It went 0 for 12. So that didn't hit a 3 there. And Vermont was pretty hot. They had 10 threes. They always have a pretty good defense. If you got in Auburn earlier, I think was the number. This has moved, 3 points. They're always really good at home. They bring back a very good squad. And of course, their guard play is excellent. I can't take them here today. I just I can't do it after I loved. I'm going to take my money from that first game and run. And you can get, they're 17.5. So maybe they hang around today too. Vermont School, I'll be on a lot more during the year. So I thought that was a good game. I get why he's on it. He sees it. But Auburn, and that's why this line's moved. They've just been very, very good. Yeah, in the jungle at home. I'm going to be on this one here. Let's touch on this. I'm going to bet this game here. Jose, we were on UC Davis last night. Idaho State was even pretty good. I had something small. I didn't get it out, though. Let's get to this one. UC Davis, San Diego State. Classic matchup. San Diego State just lost, a ton from this team. Now they brought in some transfers, and this team's always going to be very good. It's kind of big brother, little brother. But UC San Diego was a very good team last year. Excellent record. They bring back a bunch. And last year's game was tight. I'll get to, there's a few. I've been on one total. You know me, I'm going to be on a ton of totals here in college basketball. It's one of my favorite things to bet. Consistently gets me paid. And I lean under. I mean, that last game last year, the shooting was even pretty good, Jose, last year in this game. for these teams, at least from three. It was 63-62. I could see similar. I lean really heavy to this under. I just sometimes in these game ones and even the first week, we get these teams just, they're just super hot and they're going through who they're going to play and blah, blah, all the transfers that goes on. So sometimes you just get tons of points and others you get nothing. But I lean heavy to it. But I'm taking the points here. There's 11s out here with UC San Diego. I think they don't fear San Diego State at all. And it's going to take a little bit of time for San Diego State. So give me the 11 here with UC San Diego.
All right, UC San Diego 11
Nice
there.
110.
We'll make it official here. UCSD. Maybe so. What number was that again? Sorry.
Plus 11 minus 110.
11 there, minus 110. Too many ones as well. Super true story. Seeing Vermont getting washed. He doesn't believe in them either. Funny as well.
I worry about that a little bit.
Kelly McInnes asked Oakland Boise. Do you have any thoughts on that one?
Yeah, how can you not? Like when you glance at that game for Oakland, just how well they played and beat teams last year. Now, they got their ass kicked too to some teams. Like, what was it last year? Was it Arkansas? They got beat up 91-68. They got beat up by a few, the bigger schools. But we saw how well they played in non-conference. They're dealing with some teams out. One thing with Boise, very good at home, but I found them laying numbers like this a little bit tricky. So I get why people like Oakland. I just can't back on. I need to see a little bit more. But they've been consistently really, really good. They've been good for me, backing them catching points all year long. And one thing with Oakland, what do we get? Do we get pace in this one? Boise State, one of my favorite teams to take, especially at home with that defense. Jose, they haven't had the best shooting teams. Usually they rely on some of these guards that they've had that have been excellent the last 2 or 3 years. So even with this total, I lean under a little bit at 142, 141. It should be good. I kind of get both sides in that game.
Yeah, and shout out to Justin McKelvey. That is his stacks play to take number 2. Justin, I'm not going to lie. I thought this was Boise football at first. Now I'm realizing it's probably Boise basketball there as well. Shout out to you, Justin. And shout out to the stacks play today. Let's run it one time for him again.
Stacks, 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 stacks.
Beautiful work, Connor. One last one here before you get to Billy and the NBA here. Western Illinois' money line is a skunt bag play of the day, plus 200. Jimmy, thoughts on that game? And shout out to you, Skunt, my man.
Yes, I'm surprised this has moved out to 6, and now we're seeing the buyback. In college basketball, I love to see these lines move, and they get right back down. This open like 3.5, it moves to 6, and now we're seeing it come back to 5.5. Because I thought 6 was too much here. I know it's back; they've already won a game, San Jose, and one thing that's going to keep them in this game is their defense. You know what I mean? It's crazy to say an under in a Pepperdine game, didn't quite have the shooters like they did last year, where they were kind of just over crazy. Now at home, they've been better the last few years, but they're going through a whole kind of rebuild. I don't know what we're going to get here for Pepperdine. They're a lot better at home. If Western Illinois, taking them, their unders was just money for me last year. If they shoot the ball decent, they're in this. Like, to take this here, I was really tempted here to take the 6 with them. Can they go 2-0? I don't know, but I think they could keep this game close, because I just don't know what we're going to see from the Waves here at home at all. There's a whole slew of new guys in. And one thing, Western Illinois, this team was pretty good last year. They bring back some nice guys, and already with the win, 59-55, just the type of basketball game they want to play. Jose in that first one. And they had a big second half in that one. And that's them here. 7-24. They're 30% from 3. And if they shoot 40% from the field, 8 from 10 from three from the free throw line, they're in it because they just want to slow this game down to a crawl. And also, you got to look when you go through these. San Jose, 3 of 16 from 3. They weren't very good, only 35% from the field as well. They did get to the free throw line, 20 and 29, but only 69%. Can Pepperdine do that? To me, this is Western Illinois. I mean, it might even have a smaller play on them. I just wanted to sit with it a little bit more and go through all the matches. One thing is you got to just go all the transfer, all the stuff that in these games, in these first ones that I've been doing the last week, but there's so many of these teams to roll through again. You know what I mean? To get going. It's crazy.
Yeah. No, the beginning of any season is always tough capping wise as well. So I agree with you there. I'm going to join you guys on Western Illinois. Plus 5 there as well. And shout out to you there, Connor. Connor, I appreciate you joining me here on these Wednesdays, my man. It's great to have you on here. Anything you want to plug before we get you out of here?
Go to Hitting the Books. Go watch just our clips on all the college football games. Give it a like, give it a subscribe. That would be it. But I got DC Gap. I don't have anything early. Columbia, I think, can hang around. And, Nova just hasn't been the one of these teams that's covered for me, the last couple of years and the stuff they're going through, because I thought 16 and a half might be cheap, but I need to see more of them in that one. And of course, this got hit. And what do we get from Virginia at home? Obviously, this total, if you got 132 around there under, I still even think it's good here, or right around 128 and a half, 129 under. I'd be on that. And the changes we're going to see, is it going to be right away with this team? Are they going to still play that slow like they played under Ben, or is it going to be a little bit different? Time will tell there.
I'm fascinated to watch UVA this year. Well, Connor, thank you so much for joining me, my guy, and I will see you hopefully very soon.
Excellent. Let's get it. Have a good one. Appreciate it. Shout out to the chat. I love you guys. You'll hit up all the names, I'm sure, Jose. Appreciate all you guys. Let's get it. Late.
There he is, Conor Mac Picks. And let us go to our final sport of the day, the National Basketball Association. Excited to talk about a full slate of basketball games. It's the one, the only, steaming Willie Beeman Billy Brisbane joining the program. Billy, it's nice to see you. I feel like I see you every day, and I'm not even complaining about it. Billy, how are things going over there?
Doing good, man. I like this computer setup that I have going on because I can actually really see the chat, and I'm not like squinting at it. So shouts to everybody in the chat that I see. Justin McElvey, my dude, Robert Franklin, Super True Story, Gravy Betts, DC Capper, Molly Mal, a lot of names, Super True Story, Skunk Blaster, DC Rock, Kelly McInnes, DC Capper became a new member, top set. So shouts to everybody. Nasty Nate in the building. So shouts to everybody in the chat, man.
Yes, shout out to everybody in the chat. I just looked down at my phone and I look and I see that Western Illinois is taint play of the day as well. Oh my God, I gotta bet it now. Gotta bet that shit now. So shout out to Western Illinois. It's going to be on my card now as well. And shout out to you, Matty Ice. Hope you're doing well out there.
Kel V comment because I usually have it on my laptop so I can phonetically say it, but I'm on the desktop and I don't have it, so it's back to me fucking up the name.
Well, Justin, you'll see Billy hopefully at Pubblepalooza 4, and then you can put hands on him then and get him to say your name correctly that way, Justin. So it's nice to see you, Justin McKelvey or McElvey, whichever one you'd like to say today. But Billy, let's get into the basketball here. People have had some shitty luck on this program here, and Jimmy was putting in your record today, and he told me that Jaden Ivey did you real dirty last week.
Oh, Jaden Ivey did me dirty. Yeah, that was a big killer.
Yeah.
But the crazy part was he only shot the ball one time throughout the whole time.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? He just
One time, and he hit it. He hit a three.
he
And
kept on passing. It was just like, all right, now you want to pass the ball, and we'll be bet on your player prop today. And he blew his points prop. So
now it was disgusting to see, but I know this is going to change here.
oh my god, I forgot about that last Wednesday. Lived and died by the hook. It was just Hook City, man. It was just like, damn, man, Halloween's tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, the hookers were out pre-Halloween. So we're going to turn this shit around here, and we're going to be a part of it. So let's get into these games. Speaking of Jaden Ivey, let's talk Pistons Hornets here. It is admittedly weird anytime we see the Charlotte Hornets favored in a game here, but they are favored in this game. Opened up at 2. We're at a 1 now. So that might be giving indications of maybe they shouldn't be favored. Only 33% of the bets, 35% of the money on the Hornets. So people betting the Pistons here. But what say you, Billy? What say you? And don't worry, lovely citizens of Charlotte. You're feeling bored today? You can get into this game for only $3. $3 to get into this basketball game tonight, Billy. God damn.
I would say the Pistons come into this game in good form, though, winning 3 of their last 4 games, beating the Lakers on Monday night. They've been getting it done defensively, only allowing 109.5 points per game, which is 10th in the association. Charlotte has been getting the benefit of the doubt being the hometown team. Head-to-head wise, the Pistons are 6-2 ATS in their last 8 head-to-head against them. So I feel like the Hornets guard play of LaMelo and Mann off the bench is more than serviceable. It's their front court that gives me problems. As Nick Richards is already out for this game, Mark Williams is already out. So that leaves them very thin in the front court. They had to sign Taj Gibson, and he started in their last game, and he played 16 minutes, which is pretty fucking wild in the year 2024. He hasn't been – I feel like he hasn't really been playing basketball the most too much either. So it's like they have Taj Gibson and then the French kid that's like 19 years old. Like they're very thin in the front court right now. They haven't been a good defensive team, allowing 118.4 points per game. They only cover 4 of their last 5 versus divisional opponents. My favorite bet in this game, though, was Jalen Duren double-double here at -150. He's been averaging 26.1 minutes per game, but when he's played 25-plus minutes last year, he went over his points and rebound line and double-double in 75% of his games. Duren scored majority of his points as a pick-and-roll man. Charlotte allows the 3rd most pick-and-roll man points. So they've been getting roasted by bigs. If you look at their stat lines, Naz Reid had 34 points, rebounds, and assists. Luke Cornett had 23 points, rebounds, and assists. Jakob Puddle had 36 points, rebounds, and assists. Alfred Sengun had 43 points, rebounds, and assists. So I would say things to pull away from this one. Jalen Duren's probably going to smash and be one of the highest owned daily fantasy players of the slate. Tim Hardaway, good daily fantasy play, but one of his bets, player prop trend that's popping is his under 2.5 rebounds. He's gone under 2.5 rebounds in 7 out of his last 8 games. And it kind of makes sense when you look at the rebounding numbers that he's playing alongside Duren. Duren's averaging 10 rebounds. Harris is averaging 7.8. Cade's averaging 6.4. Ivy's 4.5. And then you look at the second unit, Stewart and Bonchecchio, they're both averaging 10.2 rebounds per game as a combination. So there's just not a lot of rebounds to go around to the guards and stuff like that. So if you're looking at like Pistons props, I would probably just stick to points alone.
Okay, so you're not making Duren official though?
Duren is official double-double.
Okay, beautiful. Duren official double-double -150, opening up our card. Shout out to Jalen Duren. And it is crazy that Taj Gibson is still playing meaningful minutes in the year 2024. It is also crazy that Taj Gibson and Carlos Boozer aren't the same person. They remain the same person in my head.
I would say if you're looking for, there's 3 and 10 isn't really indicative of how my NBA season's been going. My NBA
Agreed.
season's going pretty fucking well, to be honest with you. Make sure you go have the VIPs because the VIPs have been smacking. It's just that we're doing a show at fucking 1 o'clock in the afternoon and half the injury news report isn't out yet. So we're just kind of giving out predictions. So
Yes, and it's only one day of the week. It's only one day.
3-10 minus 7 units is not indicative of how my NBA season has been going.
Agreed. Very much agreed there. It's only one day of the week, so we aren't stretching, and we're like 5 games into this thing for every team. So yeah, it's still super early as well. So let's keep rolling here. Orlando, Indiana, the aforementioned Indiana Pacers are Clark Edge's play of the day here. Kelly McInnes agrees right there with them. No Banchero obviously makes this Magic team a lot different, and I definitely lean Pacers off rip here. And again, Billy, don't you worry. You can get into this game for $7. Billy, $7.
The Clark isn't playing.
Oh, that's true. That is facts there. Hopefully she'll be there. If she was there, the ticket price would skyrocket. But obviously, like I mentioned, no Banchero for the Magic here, and they have felt the effects. 4 games lost in a row there. OKC, they lose 102-86. They lose 108-85 to Dallas. They lose at Cleveland 120-109. So 4 straight losses, all on the road here. Another one in Indiana. Is this just kind of bet against the Magic until they show you differently, especially on the road here? It feels like it. Now, there's 77% of the bets, 80% of the money on the on the Pacers here, and the line has gone from 6 to 5. Does that make me run to the window and bet the Pacers? Absolutely not. It just feels like X's and O's wise. It feels like Pacers. Market, it feels like Magic will probably keep me off. What do you think here, Billy?
I would say it has been a disaster road trip for the Magic without Banchero out for an extended time. 4 straight road losses by an average margin of 11.8 points per game. Without Banchero for the last 3 games, they've only shot 38.1% overall field goal percentage-wise, which is 29th in the NBA, and only 105.1 points per game. When these two teams met less than 2 weeks ago, Orlando was able to win by 4 as a 5.5-point favorite, but that was the Apollo 50-point game performance, and Carter also had a double-double. Both of them are out for this one. I'm not really too high on Indiana's defense, though, but they should be able to contain this Orlando roster, I would imagine. In their first meeting, the Pacers starters all scored double digits, and Halliburton, he's been kind of back. He's had a double-double in 5 straight games. If I had to say, best prediction on this one, probably say the Orlando Magic team total under 110.5. That seems like a pretty fat team total, in a win or a loss. I mean, damn, 110 points. I mean, they haven't cracked 100 in their last 2 games in a row. Maybe you're one of those people that are saying they're due. If you're one of those they're due type of people, I would probably take the team total over, maybe a Jalen Suggs points and rebounds prop, regardless of if they're getting blown out or not. They're kind of just playing their starters. The fantasy rankings for this game was Miles Turner, Benedict Mathurin, and Pascal Siakam. I would imagine Benedict Mathurin player props haven't been up yet, but he's going to play some minutes tonight. If you look at the Indiana Pacers, they're going to be without Jackson, Nembhard. Benedict Mathurin is popping for me in this game a lot. I don't know why.
All right. My lights just flickered, and I was like, oh, fuck. Billy's going to be alone on the show. Fuck. But we're still alive. The power's still on. But we're still rocking and rolling here. Yeah, I'm staying off here, too. But you know what's hilarious, Billy? I don't know the exact date of when Banchero got hurt, but in their 4-game losing streak on the road, they've got they've not gotten over 110 points.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I've said, if I had to say a prediction for this game, it would be the Orlando Magic team total under 110.
Yeah, it's crazy. And again, we'll read them off again. 86, 85, 109, 99. I mean, the Pacers aren't a defensive juggernaut, but good Lord, they just do not have anyone that can put the ball in the basket. The Magic do. So
I mean, they have people that can put the ball in the basket. It's just that Banchero is just so much of that usage that off the floor.
with It's literally like you took out 25 points
Yeah.
out of the lineup, and now if they're scoring 85 points and et cetera and all that, it just makes
Like the player stats have been looking fine. Like the people that are replacing them, like Jalen Suggs has been ripping in daily fantasy. Like he's doing fine. Even Big Mo Wagner's been hooping out there, getting some minutes. That would be probably another name to circle for daily fantasy tonight. No Wendell Carter in the lineup. Gogo Patatse is back tonight, but Big Mo's been doing a good job against New Orleans. In the last game, he played 21 minutes, 9 points, 7 rebounds. Against Dallas, he had 10 points, 6 rebounds. The game before that against Cleveland, he played 27 minutes, 14 points, 5 rebounds. And I would imagine they're going to need his size out there with Pascal Siakam and Miles Turner both out there. I mean, the Magic just don't have big guys right now. They're going to have to play him some minutes tonight. And I would say the other one I would look at, I don't know if his player prop's going to be up yet, but you could circle his name for daily fantasy. Tristan De Silva, the kid from Colorado last year, he's been getting a lot more minutes. He played 31 minutes against Dallas before the weekend. And then on Monday night, he played 33 minutes. They're just kind of saying, fuck it, and just letting him play. Eventually, he's going to pop off and win these games. I mean, 30-something minutes for Tristan De Silva. I mean, we saw what he did in the NCAA tournament. His teammate got drafted higher than him, and he came off the bench for a reason. Coach said De Silva's a little bit more together than you right now, Mr. Williams.
Interesting. That's hilarious. That I can't believe an NBA scout would be like, you know what? I want the guy off the bench first. That just
look at his brother. His brother's like one of the best players in the league. I mean, not best players in the league, but best players for one of the best teams in the league. I mean, Jalen Williams. I mean, his brother probably a 10 times better shooter than him. He just played at Colorado.
Fucking Colorado, man. All right, well, Billy, this is the main event tonight for me. This is the main event, and it's probably the most obvious player prop spot on the board. Boston Celtics, Golden State Warriors. Jason Tatum versus Steve Kerr. The city of Boston versus Steve Kerr. He is going to get shit upon when he gets into that arena. It is going to be a very hot crowd. People have not forgotten what Steve Kerr benching Tatum in the Olympics. People have not forgotten. And I expect a very hot Boston crowd here tonight. On top of that, the Warriors have given the Celtics trouble last 3 years. It's been despicably annoying to watch the Warriors beat the Celtics in all their numerous ways. They don't have Wardell in the lineup. They're still 6-1. He's playing?
Steph's been playing. Yeah, he played in the last game.
Okay, good. Okay, even better. Great. I can't wait.
Points.
Fuck. All right. Well, then good. Perfect. So this is going to be a tough game, I think. 6.5 points I thought was a little much. But, I mean, again, how are we not on Jason Tatum props? I'm sure they're going to be the most bet thing on the board here as well. So that's probably one good reason why we're not going to be on them. But I just feel like Jason Tatum will come out there, hate in his heart, and he will go out there and get buckets tonight. I have not looked and seen the deep prop research on
tripping, bro. They're like 30.5 point prop is just like like at that point, you might as well just bet 40. Like you could just go to whatever you think you was about to bet on Jason Tatum, you might as well just play him in your daily fantasy lineup tonight. Just leave it at that.
Yeah, so everything Jason Tatum must be super bounced up there. Like I'm looking at BetMGM right now.
3-point props the same exact line as Steph Curry, bro. Get the fuck out of here.
That's excessive. I agree with that. Like I'm looking at triple double. I mean, like he's the only player right now listed at triple double. Like I just feel like all the sports books, like I said, they know that everyone today is gonna bet Jason Tatum props. And for me, again, how the fuck am I not going to bet Jason Tatum props? I don't know, because I think he goes off here today. But I'm excited to hear your take on this game. It's a super tough game because, again, the Celtics and Warriors have played. They play twice a year in the regular season. I think the Warriors come in and whoop their ass. It feels like every time. We all remember the finals as well with both these teams. And Steph's a fucking bad man. But I do expect the Celtics to do some shit against them, but I'm very interested to hear your take on this one, Billy. Your take is much more educated than mine, so please take it away.
Both of these teams have been playing some of the league's best basketball in the early portion of the season. I feel like Golden State has really shown their depth with Buddy Hield kind of leading the team in scoring right now. He's coming off the bench. Boston's going to be without Jaylen Brown for this game. They still have the depth, but I do expect some starters are going to have to play some more minutes. Both teams have taken a lot of three-pointers and given up a lot of three-point attempts as well. Golden State 5th for field goal attempts and Boston 6th for field goal attempts, despite neither team being the quickest. I just expect a lot of scoring in this primetime matchup, especially without Jaylen Brown being out there and the way that Steve Kerr definitely did Tatum's minutes during the Olympics. I think this is going to be a back-and-forth game. I would kind of want to stay away from the side. I actually think Golden State – it's just like I'm not really in the business of like being the guy to like I'm not a screenshot the ticket, be on Twitter, be like, oh yeah, I faded Boston. Like that's just not me, man. I think Golden State's probably going to win this game or has a really high chance of winning. They're a live dog for sure. You take Jaylen Brown out of that lineup, and that superpower Boston lineup ain't really looking too super powerfully anymore. And then Golden State's bench is really where they've been getting it done at. I actually lean towards the over 230.5. That's a very modest total, despite taking some of those players off the court. I think just this game environment is just going to be electric. Like you said, a lot of the narrative theories that are coming into this one. I expect good games on the Boston side from Peyton Pritchard, Jason Tatum, and Namas Queta. I'm jacking up his name, but Namas Queta, you can get a player prop on him. He's been really good for Boston in the last couple of games. In that last game, he played 23 minutes, 10 points, 7 rebounds. They haven't really been closing with Cornette too much. Like they're starting games with him or Horford out there, but they're not closing with them. So their center rotation is a little bit janky right now, but Queta is just popping for me in this game. I don't know why. He's just been really athletic and a really good point per minute player. Another one that's popping for me here was I said Peyton Pritchard, right? Peyton Pritchard's been looking really, really good. He played 25 minutes against Atlanta on Monday, had 18 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. Against Charlotte, played 29 minutes, 22 points. So he's been kind of having the hot hand right now as well. I think this is going to be a very entertaining game, but probably be a better live bet game if you're on the Boston side. If you like Boston, you'd probably be able to get in on a live scenario. Usually they're smoking teams in the first half, but probably not tonight.
I agree with you. I would just live bet the Celtics here. I am going to have one bet on this game. Cornball bet of the day, Billy. First field goal, Celtics. Plus 240, Jason Tatum. Cornball bet of the day. Seems too obvious. Jason, just go out there and get first quarter buckets. Please and thank you. I was honestly looking to see if I could bet Jason Tatum first quarter points as well, just because I think I know he's been starting off hot in the first quarters recently, but have not found anything on that yet. So I'll keep looking
right now. Give me 2 seconds.
Yes, I'm interested in that. If it was like 10.5, 11.5,
it's pretty high for a first quarter line. Like I remember we started fucking around with the first quarter markets last year. 9.5 at -120, like that's some Joel Embiid shit.
You know, I thought it would be higher. I'd take the 9.5. I like that. I like that a lot.
-120. So yeah, I would don't blame you. I wouldn't. It's hard because it's like you want to say like, yeah, give me Steph. Why everybody's on Tatum props? Give me Curry props. But it's like, not really. It's been really like old-fashioned Warriors, everybody collectively doing a good job. Like, but Hield's been snapping, and he's coming off the bench. Like, they don't even have his player prop listed right now, and he's like basically leading the team in scoring.
This is going to be a great game. If I'm going to watch any basketball game tonight, it's definitely going to be this one. Again, the narratives are flowing. Speaking of narrative, let's talk about New York Knicks, Atlanta Hawks here. I never know what I shouldn't say that. I don't know what to make of this Knicks team yet, Billy. It's fascinating to see them kind of gel together. We'll see if Tibbs is really like that good of a coach. I think he's a pretty good coach, but I don't know what to make of the Knicks. The Hawks are eternally frustrating for me because I don't think Trae Young is a winning basketball player. He's going to get his stats, and then you guys are going to lose the basketball game. That's the Trae Young experience, what it feels like. But 7.5 points feels like a lot. Market in this game, 50-50, basically 52% of the tickets, 50% of the money on the Hawks against the spread here. So there's not much you can go with. Total is astronomically bet to the over, but again, you'll see that with all totals, it seems like right now, 89% of the bets, 87% of the money on the over in this game. But it's a tough one for me, Billy. What do you think?
Yeah, I would say right off the bat, I kind of, on the Atlanta side, I kind of want to know what the injury news report is for DeAndre Hunter and Ekiki Okongwu before I would really want to make a move on this one. I think Okongwu should be back, though. This isn't a back-to-back tonight. But this matchup is just two teams trending in different forms, in my opinion, since the first week of the season. The Knicks have looked great outside of that fucking Boston blowout in primetime television. In their wins, they've won games by 21-plus points, and they haven't won a game by fewer than 9 points so far this season. So I feel like they've been looking really good. After Atlanta's 2-0 start this season, they've lost 5 out of their last 6 games, all by large margins. Atlanta has the league's worst 3-point defense. I feel like as long as the Knicks play a clean game here and they don't foul, I feel like they should win and cover this line. I didn't personally take it, but my best bet on this game would be New York Knicks, 11-plus win margin at plus 135 at FanDuel. I think the Knicks are going to rout the Hawks in this game here. I kind of want to see what the injury news report is for Atlanta because their injury news report is always fucking random, it feels like. The fantasy rankings for this game, Jalen Brunson's popping. I would probably bet his player prop. His player prop's probably really high, though. OG Anunoby's been really coming along strong in the last couple of games. He's had 21 points in back-to-back games, playing 30-plus minutes in both games as well, 30-plus minutes in every game so far this year. For anybody that doesn't know, Tibbs doesn't pull his starters. So as long as you don't get hurt and you're basically, when you play for Tibbs, you're basically asking to come out. Like, it's not one of those, like, he's running player rotations. It's more of like, oh, you're tired? So,
yeah.
I always tend to want to play Nick player props and stuff as well. But I think the Knicks are going to rout the Atlanta Hawks here in this game.
Well, Justin McKelvey agrees with you. Stacks play the day. Number 1. We talked about number 2 already, but number 1 on the Knicks here. Team total over 1.5. God damn it, I love it so much. I'll play it again. 3 times in one show is not enough.
Stacks, 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 stacks.
Shout out to you, Justin. Thank you, as always, for watching and dropping your knowledge in here. Let's keep rolling here into this NBA segment. San Antonio Spurs, Houston Rockets. If Jeremy Sohan did not break his thumb, this game admittedly would be a little more interesting. I'm sure most people don't care, but the San Antonio Spurs and Rockets do have a little rivalry. Sohan and Fred VanVleet got into it a little bit after the game last time they played. But without Sohan, it doesn't feel like there's any edge on this Spurs team. I will say this. Chris Paul has looked nice. Shout out to Wine Time Sports, who is a big proponent of CP3 assists. I could easily see myself betting that here today. I would love to see what that line is at. I'm going to look for that right now, actually. But it's nice to have an adult in the room, but I don't think the Spurs team is very good still. They're not going to be making any noise in a Western Conference that's very good. And it's hilarious, Billy. They've already played twice this year.
I know, right?
This is the 3rd time they're going to play, and we're split. First game 109-106 Spurs. Last game 106-101 Rockets. I mean, it's crazy that this team has played so much already. But I lean Houston. I don't love what the Spurs are at. No Sohan in this game. He's not like a huge piece, but I think he had some great grind defense, rebounds, and I think the Spurs will be missing that. On top of that, no Pop, health scare. Hope he's doing well, but Not a game that I'm moving on initially. Billy, what is your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, the Spurs are just racking up a lot of injuries in the last week. Like you said, Pop isn't even coaching. They're going to be without Shoham, Vessel, and Jones are already out the lineup. Wemby, despite coming off that 9-block game, he hasn't really been that influential enough offensively, I feel like, to be betting the Spurs with a lot of money. Like, if I'm betting on the Spurs, I want Wemby to shoot the ball fucking 25 times, not these other Joe Schmoes like freaking Bradham and Julian Champagne shooting the ball. Like, Wemby's too passive right now for me to be betting on the Spurs. And that Clippers game, they had a huge lead, and they ended up letting the Clippers come back and win that game. And that's been a common theme with the Spurs. Both teams have been trending towards the under, as the Rockets have gone under in 5 out of their last 7 games, and the Spurs have gone under in 4 out of their last 7 games played. These two teams have already played each other twice, like you said, splitting both meetings, and both games went under. My first lean was the Houston Rockets team total under in the under, but to be honest with you, with both meetings already going under, you take Jeremy Shohan out the lineup and you kind of rerun the numbers, and maybe Pop not being out there. Maybe the kids just run out there wild, and this game ends up going over tonight.
Yeah, no defense with Pop not there. Sure, I could see it. I mean, it's not like the Spurs are a great defensive team. They just have Wemby.
Yeah, they just have Wemby, but to be honest with you, man, I don't know what's up with Wemby. Maybe it's a lot of minutes because maybe France went a little bit farther than projected, but like, he's coming off the 24-point game, 13 rebounds in LA. But I would imagine when you're playing in Los Angeles, that is the peak motivation. That's the gym with the bitches. Like,
yeah,
you can look to the left and see every Instagram model that you probably ever seen before on your phone. I mean, it feels like Wemby spots are like, it feels like it's so predictable of like when you know that Wemby's going to do good. The second game of the season, he looked like dog shit. In the first game of the season, he had 29 points. On Halloween, he had 25 points. And then in the LA game, he had 24 points. It's like, obviously those are all 3 spots I feel like he would smash it. But in the other games, it's just kind of like just going through the motions. And I don't blame him. I guess you do go through the motions when you play for the Spurs. Not every game's going to be competitive for you or have the peak motivation. But as I digress, I'm going to pivot and actually say I kind of lean towards the over in this game.
Okay. And over here, I'll say I just want to look and see Wemby's points in the first 2 matchups.
Talk about this in the Detroit Pistons game because it just popped up when I was looking at the blocks. I do have Jalen Duren for 1 block at -160 and 2 blocks, 270. Those are like just personal plays. I haven't even sent those out yet, but not show officials because the money amount.
I understand. Thank you for letting us know. Our guy, and we spoke of his name earlier, his love of CP3, and he wants some action in on this game. So let's bring him on, of course. Our resident Chris Paul fan, Wine Time Sports, joining the program again. Wine, I'm glad that you're dipping your toes into the association on Wednesdays. It's nice to see you again. I'm just going to sit back and let you wax poetically about Chris Paul.
Yes, sir. Yeah, appreciate you for having me, man. I got to get that record apart these last couple Fridays, man. Just a couple points away from hitting, man, just not going my way. But I got a couple plays in this one, actually, honestly. Fair enough. One of the games Chris Paul didn't hit his over assist was in this Rockets matchup. I believe it was the last matchup they played in. I know Billy kind of touched on it and he kind of went the other way on it, but honestly, I'm on the under in this one, 215. I think this is going to be a very slow paced game. You guys touched on it. Popovich isn't going to be here for this one. The assistant's going to be at the helm in this one. And you got probably the associate head coach on the floor with Chris Paul out there. He's probably going to be telling everyone what to do to get in their spots. And we know what CP3 does. He gets the ball to whoever's open. He's going to get it to Wemby. He's going to get his chances there. I've been riding it all season. Give me the Chris Paul over 8.5 assists, -110 right now. I was getting 7.5 for a good minute, 8.5. Once they start seeing those 9.5s, I'm probably going to start shying away a little bit. But, he's going to get the ball to his guys that can shoot no matter what. And people are going to be open. He's one of the best distributors in the game. So give me his over assist and give me the under in this one. I think he's going to try to slow this one, grind this one out. I do think the Rockets are going to win this game most likely. But, give me the under. I think it's going to be a slow-paced game either way.
I would say, though, Wine Time, if you're going to play the 8.5 assists, I would sprinkle some personal money on the double-double at plus 250 because if he goes over on the assist prop, he's probably going to double-double.
Yeah, I mean, I think in his last matchup too, I think he had like 16 points against them or something like that.
Yeah, I could pull it up for you right now. If you look at Chris Paul, in the LA Clippers game, he had 14 points, 10 assists, double-doubled in that game. Against Minnesota, 32 minutes, 15 points, 13 assists, double-doubled in that game. Against Utah, 19 points, 10 assists, 7 rebounds, almost triple-doubled in that game. He's double-doubled in 3 straight, gone over his assist prop in 4 straight. Against OKC, he had 14 points, 5 rebounds, 9 assists. That's a really good prop. And then in the first 2 Houston games, he had 9 assists. And then the other game, I feel like they were blowing him out. They were up by like 40-something points at halftime. So
yeah,
way too much. That's a really good prop.
So I've got 8.5 assists minus 110 and under 215 minus 110. Did you want to make CP3 double-double official as well, or are you going to just keep that to your personal?
Market to look at for this game would be Chris Paul to be the assist leader in the game is sitting at minus 145.
Oh, so wow.
Basically be Chris Paul, Fred VanVleet, Sengun, and Wemby. And Fred VanVleet doesn't really pass the ball that much.
Yeah.
He's more of a spot-up shooter, run the offense type of guy. This Chris Paul to be the assist leader in this game looks really, really well. Like,
yeah, that's nice actually too. Yeah, I might sprinkle the double-double. I won't give it out officially, but definitely will probably sprinkle it because I mean, if Chris Paul gets the line a couple of times, he makes a couple of those elbow jumpers he likes to do, and maybe hits a wide open 3-pointer when they leave him alone in the corner or something. I could definitely see him getting over 10 points. I'll probably definitely sprinkle something on that as well.
That's a really good props one time.
Yes, sir.
All right, beautiful. Wine time. We'll have you back on here when we get to one of your next games. Beautiful work. Thank you. Wine time will be back here very soon. We roll on to the Los Angeles Lakers, Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis favored by 1.5 points here. I was a Memphis fanboy coming into the season, Billy, thinking that they were going to just be a lot better, and it's not an original opinion. I'm sure everyone thought that because of Ja, et cetera. But 1.5 point favorites against the Lakers is kind of not where I want them. I'd rather have them as a dog, but I'm going to leave this up to you here, Billy, as you were the expert. Tickets are split, 52% of the bets, 54% of the money on the Grizzlies here, 85% of the bets, 87% of the money on the over in this game. This line went from a +1 Los Angeles to +2 now. So Memphis getting that love there. I lean Memphis here. What do you think?
Yeah, the Lakers haven't really looked that good on the road. They're going 1-3 straight up during this road trip. AD's questionable for this game. My personal opinion is not worth shit, but I don't think he fucking plays in this game, to be honest with you. Ed's breakout game was in that last game on Monday. Ed was going off. He must have ate his Wheaties that day because he scored 25 points, 12 rebounds, hit a 3. He had 4 blocks, playing his most amount of minutes this year. Despite Memphis being 4-4 on the year, I feel like they've shown a lot of their depth going 10-11 nightly. That'd probably pay off at the end of the season. Maybe not in this early part of the portion of the season. Their recent wins since that Brooklyn loss have been pretty impressive, beating Milwaukee 122-99, beating Philadelphia 124-107. The total kind of looks appealing as the Lakers are 4th in pace and the Grizzlies are sitting at 16th. This is kind of like a pace-up spot for the Grizzlies. Both teams are kind of struggled defensively. The Lakers are giving up 112 points per game, and the Grizzlies are giving up 111.6 points per game. But I kind of want to see what this Anthony Davis news comes back as. I feel like it's kind of already being baked into the line. I feel like the Grizzlies should be bigger favorites in this spot here, but probably just wait for this Anthony Davis news. Like, I don't like that. I think the highest I would take the Grizzlies would be like -4, but I would want to know if Anthony Davis is in or out because that kind of has an effect on the total. Like, if Anthony Davis is out, people are going to flock towards the Grizzlies, but that would actually kind of make me flop towards the over as like a rebuy-in. Like, I don't want to get greasy narrative theory, but we got to get greasy narrative theory. One of the biggest Camila supporters was LeBron James, and with Anthony Davis out tonight, like if you saw his post today, he looked like super emotional about it. Like he posted his daughter which he hasn't like posted since like Kobe's like death. Like it's always like LeBron's sons. He was like holding his daughter up and was like saying like this stuff or whatever. I think AD might sit out tonight, and this might be the LeBron show. So that's what's also kind of making me like not want to play it, because whenever LeBron wants to play, he can look like LeBron, but other nights he looks like an old ass man. And if LeBron wants to play tonight, I could definitely don't see anybody on the fucking Memphis Grizzlies stop him.
You know, I agree with that. And I'm surprised you didn't mention this, Billy. I heard that he got called out by Meg Thee Stallion as well in her documentary. That apparently she has a documentary, and she called out LeBron for being on whoever the man that shot her in the foot side and listening to his music and shit. I don't know.
Yeah,
that,
but I'm talking about like shit that happened, like him posted like this morning type shit.
Yes. Yeah. No, I get you. So I'm very interested to see how he's going to do today as well. I'm sure he'll come out with a different kind of emotion here as well. So I think you're right. But I don't know. This is an interesting game because I would love to see Zach Edey and Anthony Davis if they get matched up. Who knows what the matchups will be.
I forgot. Last note for this game. I don't have it in front of me off the top of my head, but when I was looking for first half ATS teams this year, the Memphis Grizzlies were like in the upper half of the NBA. Like it was like 5-1 or something like whatever it was really, really good. Like they're like been one of the most profitable first half teams. So that could be an angle.
Okay. All right. Beautiful. Well, let's keep this show rolling here, and let's go to Cleveland, New Orleans here. I find the New Orleans Pelicans to be my least favorite team. Billy, what is their center update? We talked about this like last week. Do they have a center over 6'10"?
They're playing Messi. If you remember Messi was the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. He was the starting center for Baylor last year. Hence why Baylor didn't look good against Gonzaga, because they don't have their starting center anymore, because he's in the NBA playing minutes. But little bit worried about this matchup for him though tonight, because he's super fucking foul prone, and this is not the best matchup at all. It's hard for any team to stay undefeated, don't get me wrong, but I feel like the Cavs have done it as a collective unit. I was doing some research. No player has eclipsed a 30-point per game average this year. That's the second time in association history that has happened. Their defense, I feel like the Pelicans' defense has to be an area of concern here with the Twin Towers on this team with Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. On the other end, I feel like the Cavs' offense has been really good. They've been first in the NBA in field goal percentage, second in the NBA in three-point percentage, and top 10 defensive rebounding team in the NBA. There aren't any edges or angles I can really make for the Pelicans. I mean, like Jordan Hawkins has been hooping, but he's had back problems. And like, we were talking about this, I think, on the Monday Night Football stream with Higgs. Hawkins is like undersized two guard, so him having that back problems isn't like Joel Embiid having back problems. Like he might not, like he ain't that big. Like I would imagine his back problems are a little bit serious. Zion has been sick. He's questionable for this game, but he was present at shoot around at 12:30 today. We're starting to get these shoot around information news, is because I would imagine the West Coast shoot around should probably conclude in the next like 30 minutes and stuff. So we'll probably get that as we're on the show. But there's a lot of information to follow in this game. But I would just, if you like the Cavs, I would just wait. I mean, if Zion gets ruled in, I imagine this line comes down.
Agreed. I think the Cavs are just going to be too fucking big. That's just the junior analysis. But Jared Allen, Mobley, I just think they're going to be too fucking big for these guys. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just like when you look at the front court of the Pelicans, they're going to have Zion coming back from him being sick, and he was actually sick. Yebes Messi. Jeremiah Robinson Earl started for them in the last game and played 33 minutes. He's like 6'7". Fucking Neil Tice, who's the starting center for the German national basketball team, played by Messi, the rookie from Baylor. Like, they're kind of a mess in the front court. They even called up Trey Jameson. They claimed him off of waivers on Friday. That's never a good sign.
Yeah, this is all gross. It's just like I hope that if Jared Allen can't get a double tonight, then I don't know what the fuck.
I wouldn't go Jared Allen though. If I'm picking somebody for a double, I'm picking Evan Mobley.
If he can't at least get a double tonight, it's a fucking shame. These guys should have like 20 rebounds each.
Allen should. So my thing is like Allen's the better rebounder, but Evan Mobley's the way better scorer. Like he's like Donovan Mitchell's a great basketball player. Don't get me wrong, but he's fucking 6'2". He's a fucking midget. Like
yeah. I mean, it's just I can't get it. This Cavs team's internally frustrating because I expect them to be better, and now they're actually playing to, what you'd think, but we'll see if they can do it in the playoffs. Ultimately, that's the only thing that will matter, and I'm fascinated to find out. Chicago, Dallas, next on our board here. Kind of a disgusting game. I am, maybe it's some of the hangover from the NBA Finals for me, Billy, but I don't trust this Dallas Mavericks team. I don't think they're very good. I thought Klay Thompson was washed up last year. And, do I expect him to be really any better here? Not really. I mean, I just don't believe here. But the Bulls are arguably the worst team in the league right there with, the Wizards and all of those.
The Wizards? The Wizards?
Yeah, the Wizards. Yeah, I can't deal with them. The Wizards, the Raptors, and all these shitty teams. So this was a pretty easy stay off here for me. Market in this game, 49% of the bets, 44% of the money on the Bulls, and 64% of the bets, 66% of the money on the over. So not much action here for me, but an easy pass here.
Yeah, Giddey is probable. He's probably going to play. Zach LaVine's questionable. We don't have the shoot-around information. If somebody has that from the beat reporter, put it in the chat. But I don't know. Like, Zach LaVine's legit questionable. Like, he didn't play in the last game, and the injury that he has is a right adductor strain. But they also had off yesterday. So that means he hasn't played since November 1st. I don't know if he's going to play or not, and that's actually pretty big for this one. Patrick Williams is probable, and PJ Washington is out for the Dallas Mavericks. My bad. And Derek Lively is downgraded to doubtful. My bad. The injury news report has all just came in for like some of these West Coast games, and this is my first time looking at it. So Derek Lively is going to be out. PJ Washington out. Yeah, that makes me not want to play the Dallas Mavericks at all. Chicago's coming into this game in bad form. Some of their preseason public perception has came through in this past week, losing to Brooklyn and Utah at home, who was 0-6 heading into that game without Larry Markkinen out there. LaVine is probably like the deciding factor in this game if he's going to be in or out. The Bulls have been it's kind of making me want to stay away from the total because like they've been a good ATS double-digit underdog. Like they're 7-2 ATS in their last 9 games as a double-digit underdog. The Mavericks are going to win this game. It's just by how much. This is a pretty big number for them. I would even go with them in the first half. They're only 1-4 first half ATS this season, the Mavericks. So, damn, man. The Zach LaVine news is huge. Preston in the chat says Luka triple-double plus 330. Don't blame me there. That makes a lot of sense. Probably Luka Doncic over him, his rebound props. You know how Luka is. Luka's a fucking stat pattern. And I'm not complaining. I am not complaining. Just because I'm cursed doesn't mean I'm complaining. I am so for it. Stat pad all you want. If you want a player prop note, bet on players that haven't signed their big contract yet. Those are the players that don't give a fuck about what the score is. We'll talk about another one later on tonight that we have a bet on.
No, agreed. I mean, yeah. And of course, stat padding just leads to triple doubles and more stats for us prop bettors, or I should say you prop bettors, because I don't bet them often. So.
Yeah, but he's gonna have to rebound tonight, bro. They don't have anybody in the front court. And that Maxi Kleber's already out. So think about it like this: Kleber's out, PJ Washington's out, Derek Lively's out. Bro, they're about to be rolling out here. Daniel Gafford, Dwight Powell, Markieff Morris, and Najee Marshall. That's probably their front court tonight. Bro, that's wild. To be laying almost double digits with that front court against, I mean, say what you want about the Chicago Bulls, But to be honest with you, Nikolai Vucevic could, if the Bulls can keep this game competitive, he's going to fucking smash in this game. Vuce against Utah, 23 points, 10 rebounds. Against Brooklyn, 28 points, 11 rebounds. Against Orlando, 18 points, 14 rebounds. Against Memphis, he had 22 points. OKC, 18 points, 13 rebounds. Double-double in the first 2 games of the season. So Vuce is probably going to smash in this game. Maybe that's a way to look at it. If Zach LaVine is out, maybe Nikolai Vucevic's usage rate should go up because they don't have a lot of scorers right now. I know a lot of people like playing the Josh Giddey PRA props, but not for me.
And yeah, I would say that I think Vooch is probably a good double-double parlay piece as well. Minus 165, a little too juicy for me. I just looked it up and I found that. So
yeah,
if you like,
term would be like, man, like they just have to not get blown out.
yeah, he has to play. Hopefully, just keep him on the fucking court. I was looking right now to see the other half of this mini double-double parlay. You could take Mobley double-doubles plus 160. That is crazy.
Yeah, if I had to take a double-double, Jalen Duren. Jalen Duren's playing again. Yeah. We talked about the maybe you're just tuned into the program, as Jose would say. If you look at Charlotte right now, their starting center is fucking Taj Gibson and Grant Williams in their front court. Bro, that's wild, bro. Grant Williams is a fucking midget, and Taj Gibson's like a 4-year-old man. And Jalen Duren is young, hungry, fucking stallion out there playing basketball. I think he's going to smash tonight.
All right. Well, I'm going to make that official for myself here, Billy. Vucevic, double-double, and Jalen Duren, double-double, plus 267 for me.
Ooh, get a little greasy. I wish people had the 50% profit boost, our new sponsor. We're getting used to the Wednesday double-double parlays on the show. That was like something we were looking forward to. I was like, all right, we're just getting Wednesday double-double 50% profit boost. But I think that's the only profit boost that they were losing on in the NBA because, fuck, man. You could pick anybody in the NBA and pick 2 double-doubles and boom, 50%. Like, that's crazy.
I agreed, especially when we've got fucking 6'7" centers.
Yeah, and we have 15 games on the fucking slate. Like, I'll find 2 people that are going to get a double-double.
Well, we found them today. Vooch and Duren, you sons of bitches. Go out there and get those rebounds. Next game on our card, OKC Denver. Great matchup. I wish I could say it's a Western Conference Finals preview, but I do not think the Nuggets are going to be there as currently constructed. It's hilarious, Billy. We bet, or I guess you bet, Christian Braun first week, I believe it was. And I've been just watching his role just grow slowlier and slowlier. And I'm sure you saw this, that him and Jokic like sprint out to the court and race to the court together now. So it's like, all right, well, now he's got chemistry with their best player.
I'd be tapped in, man. I peeped that when they ran that little shit with the Nuggets and the Heat when they played in the finals a couple of years ago when he was a rookie on that team. Him and Jokic are like homies.
Yeah, him, they're close. So, obviously he's going to get the ball. He's going to get the touches. So if you're looking for another sneaky one, I don't hate that one here, but Oklahoma City is good. They're deep. I'm sure they're going to be motivated in this game. The forever issue, I guess, until Hardenstein comes back is going to be what the hell are they going to do against Jokic? Is Chet going to guard Jokic? Is Jokic just going to put him into the basket every time? He doesn't really like doing that because he likes passing. So I'll mention the market here, and I'm very excited to hear this breakdown from you here, Billy. Not much market information from action, no spread, but total 92% of the bets and money on the over here. Billy, take it away. Thunder Nuggies.
Yeah, I feel like the Thunder are just red hot right now in their last game. Fuck, man. I remember I was looking at NBA League Pass, and I was just switching the channel, and I went past the Thunder game, and it was like, damn, dude, 82-58 at the end of the third quarter, bro. They are smoking them. They won seven games this year by at least 12 points or more, and they remain undefeated on the season. SGA can score any night offensively, but currently right now, they lead the NBA in defensive rating by a very wide margin. Denver heads into this game without Jamal Murray in concussion protocol, and they lost Aaron Gordon in the first quarter of their last game. They trailed 109-98 with just 6 minutes left and pulled out the greasiest win ever against Toronto, 121-119. Oddly enough, Denver has actually won 3 of their last 4 games, largely due to Nikola Jokic's production. He's had 3 triple-doubles in 3 out of his last 4 games, and he missed a 4th one by only 1 rebound versus Minnesota on Friday. It's going to be Denver's supporting cast that's really going to need to play a pivotal role in Denver trying to compete tonight. Their supporting cast of OKC has just been better, man. They go on 8-0 ATS in their home games, so I don't know, man. Maybe throw them on the road here. Maybe they don't look as good. OKC has kept their opponents under 100 points in 5 of their 7 games. This is going to be their second meeting of the year. I expect the public to be all over OKC in this one, especially after that 102-87 opening day game in Denver. I think this is going to be a fade the public spot, honestly. I like the under, and I like Denver here. But the bet here in this game is going to be Christian Braun over 17.5 points and rebound at -115 at FanDuel. I mean, anytime I'm on a show or anytime you see the Denver Nuggets, I'm probably just going to play for until Christmas. This has been a really good matchup for Braun. OKC allows the most spot-out field goal attempts in the NBA, which is literally Christian Braun's role within this offense. He's taken the second most spot-out field goal attempts behind MPJ, and the OKC Thunder allowing the 8th most transition points as well. In their first meeting versus OKC, he scored 16 points and 7 rebounds. Now you take out no Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon. He had the highest usage rate bump at anybody in the lineup behind Russell Westbrook. He's gone over his points and rebounds prop in 5 out of 7 games played this season. Yeah, it's got bumped up a point or two since the last time we talked about it last Wednesday, but it's not high enough. If you look at his stats, it's pretty fucking crazy. The last game he scored 17 points, had 4 rebounds. The game before that, 17 points, 2 rebounds. The game before that, 14 points, 7 rebounds. The Brooklyn one, 12 points, 3 rebounds. Toronto, 17 points, 4 rebounds. Against the Clippers, he almost double-doubled, 11 points, 7 rebounds. And then the first game of the season against OKC, which is this matchup tonight, 16 points, 7 rebounds, 2 blocks, and 2 steals. I like Christian Braun tonight a lot.
Yeah, it's funny. I didn't even know that going into that breakdown, but there we go. Beautiful. And that was 17.5 points and rebounds there?
Yes, sirree. I don't mind the points, rebounds, and assists, but to be honest with you, you take Jamal Murray off the court tonight. What you were talking about of like how Jokic could like kill them in the post, he's not going to play in the post, bro. He's going to have to play point guard, dude. I mean, look at their guards. I mean, Russ is starting. If that tells you anything, they have Russell Westbrook.
No,
Russell.
What have they done?
Like, I'll give you an example. In daily fantasy, their only point guard that's listed for this game to even pick for a player pool is Russell Westbrook. They have no other point guard tonight. Their guards tonight on the roster listed is Russell Westbrook, Christian Braun, Jalen Pickett, and Trey Alexander, bro. Them motherfuckers aren't playing. It's about to be Jokic dribbling the ball up the court. Peyton Watson probably going to be in the starting lineup. Another player prop to circle that they're too pussy to put out as player prop. Yeah, FanDuel, we're talking to you. Is Julian Swather, the Gonzaga Bulldog, man. He's been hooping off the bench for the Denver Nuggets. He had 25 minutes in his last game, and that resulted into 13 points, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists. And in that Utah game, he had 19 points in 19 minutes, and he led Denver in scoring in the preseason as well. So Julian Swather, probably a name to circle for tonight, daily fantasy-wise or player prop-wise.
Man. Shout out to Christian Braun. It's now a player that I check the box scores for frequently. I'm not going to lie. What was the price you got your 17.5 at, Billy?
-115.
-115. All right. Let's keep it rolling here. Shout out to the Nuggies and shout out to our next team, the Miami Heat versus the Phoenix Suns. And we have BJ, who we all know makes big boy bets. Best bet on the Miami Heat plus 5.5 here. Shout out to you, BJ. Thanks for jumping in here and giving us your action here. And let's talk market to start. 69% of the bets, 65% of the money on the Suns here. And it looks like we have an opener of 5.5, and he's still there at 5.5 there now. I have an implicit bias against the Heat, admittedly, as a Celtics fan. I've been wanting to call them dead for a while now. But I don't know. Maybe this is more about the Suns being good. They get a new coach last year, everything kind of settles in. All the boys are now, they finally have their houses, Billy. Bradley Beal's comfortable, KD's comfortable, and it's all seeming to gel together a little bit. 6-1 on the season, 4-1 at home. And by the way, Billy, only $13 to get into this game tonight. So not a bad deal at all.
$13 is bullshit. Not for the Suns game. That must be some fucking bleacher creature seats up by like FanDuel Sportsbook.
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely as low as $13. So you might not have a chair with those $13, but you can get into the.
I was going to say, bro, Suns tickets are pretty expensive.
Yeah, that's why I was shocked to see $13 is not a bad matchup at all. But what are you doing, Billy? Where are you spending your $13 tickets here to go to the FanDuel Sportsbook and put your money on this? I'm interested to hear your take on this one.
Yeah, FanDuel's got me tied up with some daily fantasy lineups tonight. Yeah, Pub Sports Radio logo. You throw up that Pub Sports Radio logo and you're at the top. Hey, you screenshot it, send it to Pub Sports Radio. You never know. You might get some merch.
That'd be nice.
If you ever walk in Jeff's bar, I mean, man, you would be shocked of how much merchandise is in there.
Yes, you would be.
Like, we're gonna have to do like a vlog series of like handing out like the stuff to like the homeless or something.
Yes, we're gonna have to give away a lot of bet slip shirts, red bet slip shirts out, just handing them out to people.
As we digress, let's get back to this basketball game. I don't know what's up with Miami. They're usually well coached, but they've been coming out of halftime as a huge struggle. They've been like historically bad, like net margin team in the third quarter of the season for some odd reason, which is so weird because you would think them coming out of halftime with Eric Spoelstra talking to them, they would come out and be locked in, but it's just like they're at halftime and he's talking to them and they're all like, man, we don't give a fuck what you're saying right now. Like, because it's translating the results. The Heat's form has just been all over the place right now to back them confidently. But shouts to our chat, though. Chat's kind of on them a little bit here. Phoenix has looked good so far this season, winning 6 out of 7 of their games, only losing the second game to the Lakers in a game that was kind of like a bullshit referee show, to be honest with you. So in my like preconceived notion, I got the Suns undefeated in my brain. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the Lakers game was a little bit ridiculous. Like they shot like 20 more free throws than them. It was like something like one of those type of Lakers games. But the spread of -5.5 is just always a tricky number with the Suns. I have a rule with the Suns. I only bet them money line or team total. And as of right now, I mean, look, they've won 4 straight games, but only one game has been a 4-point or more margin of victory. I mean, their offense has just been more reliable, averaging 115.3 points per game in their last 3. Miami's 22nd in field goal percentage and only 110 points per game in their last 4. No Hami Hakwes tonight. He's out with an illness, so that might play into their bench unit as well. Bradley Beal's back for the Suns. I kind of like the Suns team total over 113.5 for this game.
All right, but nothing official here, correct? All right, beautiful. Well, let's keep rolling on. We have 2 games left, and we now come to Billy's Philadelphia 76ers. Joel Embiid allegedly punching / pushing reporters. Maybe deserved. Now they're 1.5-point underdogs going into Los Angeles, who I cannot really stand as a team, but I have a bunch of friends that religiously now bet Zubac over points, Billy. It's just like every day they wake up.
I forgot to note in that last game, what made me not want to bet that game, and the reason why I talked about the spread, Scott Foster's the referee of that Miami game.
Yeah, well, that makes God, that man just ageless, just never going to retire, huh?
I mean, doesn't that scream a Suns win by like 4 points? And they don't come.
Yeah, no thanks, Scotty Foster. Good call out there, Billy. Thank you, as always. But the 76ers being 1.5-point underdogs here was interesting. I don't trust the Clippers. Hey, if I had to make one bet in this game, it would indeed be Zubac over points in this game. No Joel Embiid, but you do have a capable backup now in Drummond, I believe. So overall, I want to hear your thoughts on this one, Billy. Market in it is, let me scroll here real quick. 61% of the bets, 62% of the money on the Clippers here, -1. We had an opener at -1 there, and it's gone to -1.5. What do you think?
I was looking at the reason what made me think about the referee stats for that last game is the referee for this game is a little bit weird. He's considered the third best referee in the referee statistical data, but I don't know, man. I don't trust this guy, to be honest with you. James Williams, but
just has the look about him. Just looks like a shady character.
Nah, it's just you can kind of look up some of his beef with players in this game and stuff like that. But as I digress, let's talk more about the actual sports logistics of this game. Philadelphia has historically struggled without him being in the lineup, and it's kind of been no different this season. Only 2-4 ATS on the season. The Clippers have played good basketball early with they just had low expectations. Nobody expected them to be good, and they've played half decent, and they look pretty good. They've gone 4-2 ATS. This line kind of feels oddly low, man. I feel like maybe the return of PG-13 coming back into Los Angeles tonight and him missing the game-winning shot for the Sixers in his first game in the last game. Neither team has really looked too good offensively. The Clippers ranking 23rd, Sixers ranking 26th. I like the Sixers to win this game outright, but it's super biased, super homer. But I didn't bet it because I didn't like the referee stats for this game, but I think Paul George is about the ball. I just got to figure out how I want to bet it. This game starts at 10:20. I don't need to bet this game at 2:00 in the afternoon. But I think Paul George is going to show out. I know Spenny's been cashing with the James Harden triple-double. That's at 850 in this game. I feel like there's motivation on both sides of the story of James Harden's kind of all right, everybody thinks I'm shitty and nobody wants to play with me, so fuck everybody. I'm about to just go do my James Harden stuff. And he's actually been doing a pretty good job of it. His double-double props, -145. I mean, Zubac is primed in this one, -230. But to be honest with you, I think Andre Drummond's is a little bit more appealing at +165. I feel like that's going to be a battle. The times that I don't like playing Andre Drummond's double-double prop is when he's having to guard guys like Brook Lopez and having to go out to the three-pointer and crash the board. If him playing against the post against Zubac, he's just going to be standing around the rim the whole entire time. He's probably going to get the same exact amount of rebounds. If you look at the rebound prop line, Zubac's at 12.5 and his is at 10.5 juice towards the over. So there's a lot of ways that you can play this game. I would kind of get the confirmation with the injury news report. The Sixers are always fucking janky with their injury news report, but Paul George is listed as probable, and that's all that really matters. I like the Sixers.
Yeah, I think the Sixers win this game outright, and I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, the biggest narrative coming into this game, now that I know, I wasn't sure that Paul George is playing, but Paul George coming back to the Clippers.
Well, he missed the game-winning shot against Phoenix. So the last game that we played on Monday, it was a late night. We grinded this whole entire game, should have won the game. This motherfucker is coming back and doesn't pass the ball to Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey's got 30-plus points in the games at this moment. My man dribbles the ball past half court. Bro, you're open for a reason. They want your bitch ass to shoot it. And he goes, clank. And everybody's like, bro, what are you doing, bro? Just pass the ball to Maxey. If we're going to lose the game off a game-winning shot, let it be from the guy that has 30 points and not the dude that just came back for the first game of the season. He was trying to play hero ball, man. And while it didn't pay off that night, I think it could pay off tonight. That's got to live in your memory, dude. As a basketball player, I remember my last basketball game that I ever played. I missed a game-winning free throw, and that shit lives in my memory for the fucking rest of my life. I can't imagine at an NBA level, but it probably doesn't linger as long. But with the short turnaround, I feel like it could just motivate him. It's a short turnaround. That was only Monday. They're playing against the Clippers. Like, I don't know, man. Paul George looks really good in this prop as a prop game.
I agree. I mean, and he's going to get revenge on the Clippers for just letting him go for nothing. So I agree. I think he'll have hate in his heart. Steve Ballmer will be there, and that'll fire him up, I'm sure, as well. Last game on our card. We saved the best for last, obviously. The Toronto Raptors versus the Sacramento Kings. Not the best game ever. Shout out to our guy, Bo Jackson, who season ticket holder of the Raptors, said you got to follow this team to know how to bet them. He said the Raptors can win tonight, but I'll take them to cover the spread plus 11 here as well. He also live bet the Nuggets against the Raptors the other day as well. So shout out to you, Bo. I mean, it's bad. It's really bad. The Raptors are fully in the Cooper Flag sweepstake. I wish them luck. I think they lose this game, but 11.5 points is a lot here. And I'm going to trust Bo here when he says take the 11.5. The issue is obviously that this line opened up at 9.5. 77% of the bets, 79% of the money is on the Raptors, and we've got up to 11.5. So it seems like an ass whooping is coming. But I hope they can cover the spread for your sake, Bo Jackson. Billy, I'm interested. Last game on the card. Any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, the Kings have finally got their form together here in the past week, winning 4 out of their last 5 games. But their one loss over the last week was actually versus this Toronto team in Toronto. 128 to 131. I thought the public perception in this game would be the fade Toronto with them losing 5 of their last 7 games outright. But Toronto's roster has played with a lot of heart, energy, and been covering spreads, man. Covered 7 straight ATS-wise. But you know what they say about streaks sometimes. Streaks are always destined to end at 7. But the total-wise, this is the highest total on the board for a reason. Toronto has gone over 7 out of their last 8 games, and in 5 straight, the total has hit over in 7 out of the last 10 meetings head-to-head wise between these two teams. 238 is high, but might not be high enough.
Well, at least, like, at the very least now in the NBA, even the bad teams can score a bunch as well, so it keeps the fans, I guess.
And the Raptors don't have bad players. They just don't have star players. Like,
yeah, they're all just too young right now.
Say what you want about Scotty Barnes, but like, great basketball player. But I don't know, man. He feels like a B guy. Like he does, like, you know what I'm saying? Like he's pass the ball around, get everybody involved, be a great teammate. Sometimes
he's not the guy taking the last shot.
Sometimes you just need a fucking LaMelo Ball on your team. Somebody is just going to put the ball in the back of the basket, and you just look at the results after.
Yeah, and Emmanuel quickly can only do that off the bench. So yeah, no thanks there either.
Yeah, and Bruce got a championship and got paid and hasn't played since.
Yeah. It's it's so funny to watch all these things unfold in the NBA. What a sport!
One person I know that Debbie Cab always bets on in this game is Keegan Murray at home. His 3-pointer prop usually hits at home. I don't know if he played it today, but maybe you go on Twitter at X, follow him over at Debbie Cab, and ask him if he likes Keegan Murray.
Yeah, let him know. And Bo Jackson, you're right. Playing these players,
not though.
Develop them, trade them for draft picks.
Yeah, I feel bad for the Clippers, man. That's what the Clippers want to do in theory, but there
ain't no picks.
Yeah, ain't no picks. Their pick goes to the Thunder. If they have a bad year, the Thunder just get better. The rich keep
till fucking forever, dude. Till fucking forever. They've got no picks.
One college basketball game that I did want to talk about tonight, though. My Nova boys are back tonight.
Ooh.
Columbia versus Villanova. And our star player, Eric Dixon, was suspended for the first game of the season. And that's why I feel like we didn't really look that good. But not an official yet, because we have to look at it. But don't be shocked if you follow me over on Twitter tonight at GettingBills_ and you see Eric Dixon over 24.5 points and rebounds at -125.
That's funny.
I got to look at it and look at Columbia, who the fuck is even on that basketball team this year. I know who's on Villanova and who's playing well, but I haven't really dove too deep into the Ivies. But I know preseason-wise, Columbia was projected to be one of the best Ivy League teams behind like Princeton. I mean, Xavier Lee was supposed to go to the NBA, but he ended up coming back to Princeton after the combine shit with the NBA. So I would say Princeton and Columbia are like the class, and then there's everybody else. So in theory, 17.5 points is a lot of points, but man, dude, Nova might blow them out.
Sounds like it could be an over game if they're capable, but I don't know.
Under. That would be one of the best totals of the day, to be honest with you. Would be under 146.5. It was a couple of years ago, but I remember the last time that these two teams played kind of seems a little bit indicative of like how tonight's going to go. The last time that these two teams played was like the beginning of the season, like 2 years ago. I was actually like living in Philadelphia at the time, and Villanova blew them the fuck out. It was 75-60. Total was 135 finish, but that was a minute ago. That was in 2017, so I was sophomore in college. So like that was a minute ago.
Yeah, it feels like forever ago now. Shit. Jesus. We're old, Billy. We're fucking washed up. We are washed up.
I'm not washed up, baby. We're just hitting the prime.
I'm washed up. I'm already donezo here. Truth teller, yes, we covered football Maction. We covered it with Conor Mac. So just hit the rewind and you'll see it there. Truth teller, nice to see you as well. All right, Billy, let's recap your action. And I think it's pretty easy. Only 2 bets today, correct? Duran double-double minus 150 and Christian Braun over 17.5 points and rebounds minus 115.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, beautiful. I am appreciative that you joined me here on these Wednesdays. Thanks again for joining me on the live streams throughout the week last week. Anything you want to plug before we get you out of here?
Yeah, make sure you check out Locker Room Podcast. Those boys went live yesterday. I wasn't on the episode, but me and Big Show, we're talking. We might have some cool shit coming up with our new sponsor over at FanDuel because, Daily Fantasy is always a great marketing point to have video conversation. And so make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you haven't already. Make sure you go follow Jose. Make sure you get locked in for Premium Wednesdays. Those were my 2 premiums that I sent out today before the game started. Was during double-double. Somebody in the chat said you can odd shop that and get that as low as minus 135. So, I mean, probably when I send these over to you, Jose, I'll probably actually really odd shop these and see where the best lines are for these. I just play them on the lines that I have money on the books on. So
I understand. So, yes, just let me know. Obviously, just send me those plays and we'll get you the best odds. Of course, there. So beautiful, Billy. Thank you again for joining me here. And again, go the Locker Room Talk podcast. Go listen in, the whole gang. And could you please tell just my 2 cents I said hello and that I only call him my spicy little potato. That's the only thing I ever call him now.
That's a super pause, but all right.
No, please do. Please do. Thank you, Billy, as always, for joining me here. All right, guys, we survived another Wednesday here at Betting with Bouquett. Tomorrow, we'll be back with Jimmy the Bag. Betting with the Bag is back. Horse races, Cappers contest show. Another 4-in-1 week as well in the Cappers contest show by all the members here. So shout out to you guys. I tip my cap. Dave, yes, I know it's over 3.5 or 3 hours. That's only that. I'm sorry. And yes, Justin, you did survive another edition of Betting with Bouquett. I'll quickly go over action here from everyone. Gogster on first period money line. Nashville here minus 105, and he's on Chicago money line and the over 5.5 there plus 220. Wine time on UCLA money line. UCLA plus 7, Ole Miss plus 3, Miami, Georgia Tech over 63.5, Washington plus 14, Northern Illinois, Western Michigan under 52.5 minus 110, San Antonio Spurs, Houston under 215, and Chris Paul over 8.5 assists there at evens there. Cab, his lone play on the show he gave us, Georgia minus 2.5, minus 110 there. Conor Mac joined us as well Western Michigan +2, Rice +9, Tulane team total over 37.5 -115, New Mexico State 18.5 -110. In college basketball, he gave us Eastern Washington +8 -105, and USCD, aka UC San Diego, there +11 -110. You guys just heard me and Billy talk about his NBA. My official plays on the show, the things I'll be betting after this. Chicago Blackhawks money line +105, UCLA +5, and I also will probably be sprinkling the money line there later on. Hopefully that gets down to a 4.5. That's when I will sprinkle money line. First field goal in the Celtics Warriors game, square bet of the day, Jason Tatum +240. And I'm also going to be on his first quarter points for this show's purposes, over 9.5 -120. First quarter points. I'm going to go look and see what I can bet that at. And Vucevic and Jalen Duren double parlay +267 for me there. So thank you guys. I appreciate everyone that sticks around, listens to the recap, watches the show. Super true story. Dave, Justin, smash the like. Truth teller, thank you. Bo Jackson, Reginald Luker, Tori Coker, thank you for being here as well, my guy. Chosen One, Ron Lofton, Kelly McInnes, Chase J, Kongs Clips, Preston for joining us here. Kelly, thank you all for being in here. I appreciate you guys for watching. We'll be back again tomorrow. Till then, say hey, and we'll see you guys next time.